Did I stutter?
He has time, launches it to the end zone. Touchdown! Terrence Williams!
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
The 2011 winner of the Heisman Trophy is Robert Griffin III, RG3!
Welcome to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Langoliers, base hit to center, and the Baylor Bears win their first Big 12 tournament championship.
Their fat little girlfriends are telling them what they want to hear, which is how great you are.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Yep, just ready for OU.
You can't handle the truth.
Here's Drake Toll.
Welcome into Up Tempo. It is Tuesday, Super Tuesday to be exact. I am Drake Toll. That is J.D. Pickell, Armstrong Sims, and Cole are joining us as well today. How about it? It is Baylor basketball game day. Your Baylor Bears are on the road against the University of Texas Longhorns, the TU Horns, the 11-3. Burnt orange against your 16-0, number 2 in the country, Baylor Bears. We're breaking that down today. Women's golf in action right now. Women's golf?
Women's golf.
They're ahead
Put
by
a hole in it.
13 strokes right now. 13 strokes. They're -4.
That's a lot of strokes.
They are 4 under. They are
What was the
4
spread
under.
on that? What was the spread? Do we know? Because the spread's -5 right now, Baylor, and I love
Baylor by
that.
5 strokes? Is that what it was?
Or no, for the men's game. I don't know what it is for women's game.
Baylor -5?
-5.
Oh, boy.
10 ounce Tuesday, free money, baby.
We are putting some Monopoly money on the Baylor game today. All right. Hey, how about this dude, Jared Butler and Melissa Smith? Did you see that yesterday? Jared Butler named to the Wooden Award watch list, okay? So the Wooden Award releases their top 20 early on.
Okay.
And I say early on. I guess we're mid-season right now.
Sure.
Or we're halfway. Wow, we're more than halfway through the season. But Jared
stretch.
Butler has been named to the top 20 players in the country. So has Melissa Smith. Not only that, D.D. Richards has been named to the watch list for Defensive Player of the Year. Great things happening at Baylor today. We're going through our SicEm Pick'em later on in the show. Oh, baby.
Yep.
You know what we play on Tuesdays.
SicEm Pick'em. What do we play on Tuesdays? Take 3?
Oh, no.
No. It just hit me all at once.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know we play on Tuesdays.
Dead or alive.
Tuesdays, we play Dead or Alive. Today, we are asking your our Bear Games questions today. We're asking for your prediction of the Baylor and Texas game in Austin. The first that is out on all social media. That's our question today. Who can guess the score correctly? If you can, okay, I'll make it a deal with you guys at home that are listening.
Listen up.
If you can guess the score correctly, I will send you an ice shaker, okay? I will send you an ice shaker if you can guess the score correctly, all right? Not only that, if you guess the score the closest, the person to guess the score the closest will receive a SicEm365 sticker. How about it? Also, we got Jack Wheeler on the Impact Health Labs call. I will take it. Let's go, Jack. What's going on, Jack Wheeler, Baylor game
Our
day?
father.
Jack Wheeler?
Oh,
We can't take him right now.
Oh, Jack.
Jack.
That's all
Okay,
right. He'll
Jack, call us back in like how long, Armstrong?
He also can't hear us.
Oh, wow.
Darn it.
Well, hopefully he's listening.
Well, darn it.
Jack, call us back, Jack, in whenever you can. We have another caller on the line. Can we take them?
We can take no callers.
Why?
No callers.
Armstrong, I told you, it's not my show. It's not JD's show.
It's 10 ounce Tuesday.
I think Armstrong is trying to commandeer the show here. Armstrong, we're caller driven.
Hold on.
There's been a coup.
We're waiting.
There's been a coup.
While
Okay, now we
waiting-
can take calls.
Okay. We've got Chris in Houston, it looks like. And before we pick that up, we have Restream is, hey, NCAA Football 22. It's coming, folks.
Wow.
It's coming. The NCAA brand of football games are back. NCAA 14. Remember, RG3 was on the cover of NCAA 13.
Yep. Him
They
and Barry
are
Sanders.
back. Armstrong's got the biggest smile on his face right now. He is so excited. I'm excited. I played those all growing up. If you don't know what it is, well, boo. Because it's good. Those are the best video games I think have ever come out in the history of video games.
Yep.
I am a big fan of NCAA 14. If you're listening out there on the Twitter, on the Twitch, on the whatever we're on that is
Roku.
Twitter sphered.
I know we're on Roku.
Find the most convenient way for you to listen to Uptempo every day, to watch Uptempo every day through the
beautiful.
SicEm365 app, through YouTube, through Roku, through all that stuff. But here we go. Armstrong Sims has got it right there. College football is coming back.
Were you a Road to Glory guy or a Dynasty guy?
I was a dynasty guy.
Dynasty guy.
I personally like building my team.
Dynasty, no question.
And
Really?
I liked recruiting. And let's see. Jack Wheeler, call us back, man. I don't know what was going on over there. Armstrong was cooking up in the stew, and some things were just going awry. And we're gonna get you in here. But for now, we got. Is this Chris from Houston? No, it's Jack Wheeler. This
There we
is
go,
Jack
Jack Wheeler.
Jack is back.
Guys, this is the best day of the year.
Yep.
And it's only February.
Yep.
It's happening. It's really happening. Everybody, stay calm.
This is not a
Stay
drill.
freaking calm.
This is not a drill.
Stay calm. Oh, man. I can't tell you how happy this makes me. This is my childhood. That's coming back.
Jack, what is your favorite memory on any of the NCAA games?
Oh, man. Having Dynasty and winning like 8 national championships
In a row with Baylor. Come on. You know how it is.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely with Baylor. It was with no other school. Just Baylor. Yeah, that's it. We'll go with that.
I got a feeling that Jack Wheeler here went to the coaching carousel one year and came out on the other side as a UT head coach. But he had to.
Oh, no.
But sometimes you got to be an OC.
Jack.
You got to go to Toledo and be the offensive coordinator. You got to work your way up.
Jack, did you sell out on NCAA 14 for the big dollars and the big brand of Austin, Texas?
TU.
Well, here's how it started, man. I was a defensive coordinator at Northwestern, got us
Yep.
a national championship, and
Yep.
then took the head coaching spot in that mental institution in College Station.
Jack was
I actually like that
A&M.
better. I like that better than UT personally. I have
Hey,
less
I took
beef.
that
I have less
job
beef
over
there.
50, so
Yeah. It's more blue
I ended
collar.
up being successful.
Jack,
8 national championships, man.
you wanna play some Bear games on a day like this day that's so good?
I would love to play some Bear games.
Jack, when I go to the grocery store, Armstrong Sims and I both went to the grocery store last night. Not together, don't be confused. But I
did too, actually.
Okay.
Did you seriously?
Yeah, I did.
We all three in
Yeah.
the studio. Cole, did you go to the grocery store last night? Cole is nodding yes. We all four went to the grocery store.
He did.
So when I go to the grocery store, I always get, there are things that it is a necessity that I will get Bang, I will get Topo Chico, I will get Lunchables, big Lunchable guy.
Interesting, okay.
I will get pistachios, and then I will get LaCroix. Those 5 things will always be in my shopping cart, no matter the shopping trip. Jack Wheeler, what are you getting on your grocery store shopping list trip?
Oh, man. Milk is always a necessity.
Okay.
Yeah.
I drink it every day. I'm usually out by the end of the week. So
Big milk guy.
Yeah.
Armstrong Sims is nodding his head. He's also a big milk guy.
I'm a big milk guy.
Big milk guy?
Other things,
Okay, I go through. No, I'm dead serious. I go through like 2 gallons of milk per week.
You and Jack Wheeler were roommates.
yeah.
You both have an affinity for
Same
milk
here. We were
together.
roommates.
Yeah, we were roommates.
Ew.
I go through so much
were
milk. It's
roommates.
actually
We
probably
are
unhealthy.
confirming that today.
Really?
Whole milk,
You
too.
know-
Whole
What
milk.
is
whole
this
milk.
show?
The verdict's still out on if milk is healthy at all.
It must be
whole
whole
milk?
whole milk.
I personally don't do any milk.
I
you
drink a
never
little bit of
say
milk with my cereal.
Milk
drinking.
makes strong bones. I've never broken a bone in my
pretty
body.
sure they disproved that a while back. Do you remember that?
I've seen some documentaries.
Where they were
I don't
like,
know what to
yeah,
believe anymore.
milk-
Seen milk documentaries.
I don't know. I don't know what to believe
You watch-
anymore.
you watch
I
those
don't know.
Big milk documentary.
Yeah.
We said it for 20 plus years. I haven't broken a bone. I'm sticking to it.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I haven't either, and I don't drink milk.
I've broken a lot of bones. I drink no milk, so maybe that's it.
This guy,
I think that's exactly why.
Yeah.
Jack Wheeler, is there anything else that you're grabbing at the grocery store every time you go?
Whew. I know there's a couple more things. I always get Bluebell.
Okay.
Bluebell ice cream.
What
Doesn't
kind?
matter
The
what
best
flavor,
part of
I
waking
just
up
grab
is
it.
Bluebell in your cup. That's what the kids
What
say.
a morning.
No, Bluebell tastes like.
That's awesome.
What do you say, Jack?
Let's see. One more thing that I always get is because I ate these all the time when I was a kid. I'm a big supporter of Eggo waffles for breakfast.
Like a Mayago.
Love on my Eggo.
I love
And
it.
then last Bear Games question, what's your final score prediction for tonight?
Whew. I think this game is going to be tough, but we'll pull away in the second half. I will say 81-75.
81-75, not 61-58.
Ooh, that's a great score, but no.
I like it.
Tonight.
All right, thanks, Jack Wheeler. The over hits in Jack Wheeler's book.
Over is 144 and a half.
144
for all
and
of
a
you
half.
keeping track at home. The line has also moved to 5.5 now,
flip-
favoring Baylor.
Oh.
It was 6 earlier. It went down to 5. Now it's 5.5. This line is all over the place.
But there's no difference in 5 and 5.5.
Oh, there is. Oh, there is. You can
How?
push.
Yeah,
Half point.
nobody wants to push.
No, nobody wants to push, but does that make you a little nervous? Like, hey, if it's 4, if it's 5, there are people that will stay off 5.5 and go for 5.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't stay off 5. I would buy.
No, I
I
wouldn't
would buy a
either.
point. I'd go to 4.5.
I truthfully, I don't know enough about anything to like have a half point be the difference for me.
That's a good point.
But
We're talking.
some people do.
We're talking milk today. Grocery store shopping, score predictions. Jack Wheeler just said, what did he say? 81-76. Write that down.
Yeah.
If you call us today with your score prediction, if you call us, you give us a little ring, you say ring, 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 and you say, hey, I want to give you my score prediction, and it's right, I'm sending you one of these puppies. $40 value. Free 99. It's a free house for you, Jim. Coming to your house. If you get it close enough, if the person whoever's closest, you also get something free, like a sticker or something. I don't know. I'll send you something. Also, this. I want to tell you guys a story. You know, Walking in Waco, the video came out on KCEN TV last night, Channel 6, Walking in Waco. Yeah, Matt Lively did it. I like Matt Lively.
Such a good guy.
Freaking cool dude. You guys
Such a good guy.
Send Matt Lively a thing of flowers or
Cronkite alum.
send Matt Lively
The
a thing of
Harvard of
flowers
journalism
that are a
school.
little bit better than those. But he basically, it is the Harvard Journalism School.
Yeah.
So it's like Cornell, but in a journalism school. Effectively, I just want to tell the story. So I grew up in, obviously, Arkansas. Imagine that.
Right.
Did you know?
Right.
That's a trivia
I did.
question.
I didn't know that.
And I listened to local radio there in Little Rock, and there was this radio host who would make songs weekly about the Razorback football games.
Mm-hmm.
Roger Scott is his name, right? So Roger would put these songs out. You listen to him, you're like, it's freaking funny stuff. He's parodying songs.
Yeah.
But they're Baylor or they're Arkansas football related. And so then I got here and we started the show. I was like, I want to do that same thing. You know, like
Right.
people like that stuff. Like it usually goes off well. So we put that together. Matt Lively calls. Matt Lively does a story on it. I see a commercial last night, right? So remember, the guy in Little Rock that did the music, that hosted the radio show that I grew up listening to, his name was
Right.
Roger Scott. I see a commercial last night on KCEN 6 TV for the morning weather by Zach Scott. And then I start putting 2 and 2 together, and I
Travis
remember
Scott was their father.
it's Travis Scott's. And then I remember that Roger Scott is Zach Scott's dad. So the person who inspired Walking in Waco 10 years ago had a son who works in Waco at KCEN-TV as the morning weatherman, and KCEN-TV did the story on Walking in Waco.
That is eerie. And here we are, and this is all a simulation. That's
This
actually
is-
really cool.
I
That's
watched-
nuts. How'd you put that together? That's actually really impressive.
I put it together because he told me that like a month ago. I just
That's-
had forgotten
that is
his son
crazy.
worked there.
That's crazy.
It's wild. What a small world we live
love
in.
that.
What a
I love
small. We
that.
got to get Zach on the show. We got to get Zach
it.
on the show.
Zach, come on, get on the show.
Zach
The
Scott.
water's fine.
Great Scott. How about this? I watched Shutter Island last night. With all the free time I have, I was like, whatever. It's late. It's midnight. I'll watch Shutter Island. Shutter?
Yeah. Don't get me started.
hardly
Don't get
know
me
her.
started. I mean, what do we have to say spoiler before we talk about this? Because I feel like it's such
know.
a spoiler-packed
It was
movie.
okay. Oh,
Really? It's in my top 5. It's in my top 5,
top
maybe
5?
top 3.
Here's the deal.
I love Leo. I love Shutter Island. I love kind of the whole ominous.
You ever seen it, Armstrong?
Kind of spooky. Like, it's scary, but it's not
Shutter
too
Island?
scary.
Yeah,
it's
Shutter
like it's a
Island.
thriller, but it's not scary.
No, I have
it's
not.
not that scary. Cole, have you seen it?
It's really good, though.
Yeah, Cole's not,
was it
yes.
Martin Scorsese?
Scorsese.
Is it Scorsese?
I think
Yeah.
it is Scorsese, yeah.
Okay,
And
then
Scorsese.
I need
It
to
is
see it.
awesome.
Here's the deal, though.
Very, very good
I thought
movie.
it was
Probably one of my
good. I
favorites.
thought it was
How
good.
did you pronounce Scorsese?
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 Pass that for
Scorsese?
Scorsese?
Coach Koshevskov.
Sometimes, JD. Sometimes.
Sometimes what, Armstrong?
Yeah, where did JD go to
Go
college?
ahead and finish that sentence.
2 points max per week on Music Monday, and you pronounce Scorsese Scorsese.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Hey, this
Yeah.
guy has no idea what
Sometimes
that's
what
what
I'm saying.
means.
Sometimes what?
Sometimes.
I feel like I don't have a partner. Who sings it? Sometimes
Like I don't have a partner.
I feel like it's the city I live in.
Don't know it.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow.
I should've
That's disappointing. I watched Shutter Island. It was pretty good. There was the animation at times, the CGI. You were like, no, that doesn't look normal. That.
Really?
Yeah.
There wasn't a ton of CGI in it, though.
There was more than you would think. His dreams that he had and stuff like that, and things would. I don't know. There was just a lot going on, and then you get to the end, and you're like, did that really all connect very smoothly? I think. And short answer, no.
Really? I think there's stuff, but
have you seen Shawshank Redemption?
I haven't seen Shawshank
That's
Redemption.
why. That's
I've
why.
heard it's really good.
Yeah.
Heard
Have
it's
you
really
seen
good.
it, Armstrong?
Yeah, of course.
Right.
heard it's really good.
Cole. Yeah.
He
That's
says,
my.
"Oh, yeah."
That's my favorite movie of all time. Shawshank Redemption.
I think it's like number 1 across IMDb.
Right.
Like,
It is on
IMDb.
It's the
like,
best-
number
it's the best
one.
movie
It's
of
the
all
best.
time.
Shawshank's up there, though, isn't it? Isn't Shawshank like top 20,
What?
top
You
10?
said what's number 1 movie of all time? Shutter Island?
Or no, sorry. Yeah, Shutter Island. Isn't Shutter Island in like the top 20?
On IMDb?
Yeah, I think it's up there.
Not
Maybe.
sure.
I think what may have ruined it for me is I was recommended this movie in the 9th grade, and they were like, "Yeah, it's the greatest plot twist of all time." So by the time I started watching it, I was like, "Oh, where's the plot
It's
twist?"
number 152 on IMDb.
It's top
And
20.
it deserves to be
Just like I said, baby.
top in JD's movie list.
Top 20.
But
It's
yeah,
top 5 of my movie list. I'm not gonna lie to you.
the whole time. How few movies have you seen?
I've seen a lot of movies. Haven't seen Shawshank, but I've seen a lot of
Name
movies.
5 movies you've seen.
Are you asking
no,
if I've
no.
seen 5
Yeah, name
movies?
5
No, I'm
movies.
not gonna play
Go.
this game. I'm older than actually everybody in this room. I've
Name
seen more
5
movies than
movie
all of you.
You
directors.
can't name 5 movies.
Name
I
5
can name
movie
5
direct-
You want to name
directors.
5? Okay, so is it 5 movies or 5 movie directors?
Both. And go. You're on the clock.
I'm not on the clock.
It's
5 movies.
ticking.
Remember the Titans. Shutter Island. Soul.
Soul. You are a cheat.
That's a.
It came out like a
this
month
is the
ago.
Dumbest game ever. What else? Trolls is a movie.
God.
He's not wrong.
Angels in the Outfield.
All right,
Bro,
that's fine.
Angels in the outfield.
What else? Born Identity.
Was that a Disney movie?
Nah,
The
yeah,
James
like put a
Bond movies.
stupid, like
Night at the Museum. Night at the Museum 2.
The random 90s Disney movie where they're like, we're gonna do it, but with
What
people.
else? The Rookie.
The
I'm
Rookie's
still
a
going
movie.
over here. I've seen lots of movies.
The Rookie
guy-
was directed by a Baylor grad.
This guy's got
Oh, there you go.
7 movies down.
This
It's
is
like,
this is the dumbest
Soul,
question you've
Trolls.
ever asked.
It's true.
I'm also the oldest here, so
I shouldn't
by
count
a
half
numbers
of
game,
those.
I've seen the most movies probably in this room.
I shouldn't count half of those. What else do you? What?
Wait,
name
you don't get to
5
count movies? Are you
name
the movie
5
police?
movie directors.
You the movie
I
police?
am the
You
movie.
name 5 movie directors.
It's not
How about
my
that?
show. It's not your show. It's not Armstrong's show. The people have named me the movie police.
No, they haven't. This is a coup.
I'm the movie
Prove it
police.
wrong.
This is a coup.
How are you
Prove
the
that you
movie
are the
police?
I was a
police.
film major.
Name 5 movies.
No, that's
Name 5 movies.
Hurry.
I'll name you my top 5 movies in order.
Oh.
Sound of Music.
Boom.
It's a
Oh.
Wonderful Life.
Okay.
Wait, Sound
Singing
of
in
Music
the Rain.
is your number 1 movie?
E.T. And Lincoln. Yeah, and Sound of Music is my number one.
This guy has been putting off the question where he names 5 directors. Name 5 directors.
You name 5 directors. How about that?
Michael Bay. Oh, I'm going to give him 5 directors.
Michael Bay.
I know that he won't be able to name 5 directors.
I'm not
I
the
have
director
given you one.
fiend.
He can't. He just admitted live on Up-Tempo he can't name 5
I said
directors.
I'm not a director fiend. I said,
Right, then name 5.
You name 5. That's the whole thing. Movie police.
I could, but you're not doing it. You do it first. We'll write them down. We'll write them down on the next commercial break.
You can name
We'll write
5
them down on the
directors.
next commercial break, and we'll see who can name
I'm
the most
getting
directors.
quizzed. I'm getting a text for my movie. All I said was Shutter Island's a good movie.
Steven from
'Cause
Virginia
Drake's ninth
named literally
grade
2 directors. One thing that JD
went
can't
left.
do.
You want me to name 2 directors? You want me to name 2 directors?
I've already given you one.
No,
Wes Anderson.
Let's hear.
Wes Anderson.
Okay.
Martin Scorsese. Scorsese.
Martin who?
Michael Bay. That's 3 right off the bat.
Okay.
Michael Bay that I said.
Who else?
He said,
Let me think.
Cole's helping you out here.
I can't hear Cole. That's 3 right there. Give me. I'll give you 2
I'll
more
give you,
before the end
yeah.
of the
Steven
before
from
the end of the-
Virginia,
Let's
you're
hear
on the
Steven.
impact. You're on the caller line.
Hey guys, first I want to say I'm so excited that y'all made the news, and I'm
did.
in the process, and I've almost finished writing your next song.
J.J. Abrams. That's 4.
So I hope people enjoy that.
That is 4.
God, Cole
Second,
mouthed
I'm
that
really
to you.
excited
You're
to
really
be
going to sit
able
here
to
and
cheat
cheat
like
like
that?
Cole has a mask on,
I don't see it. It's camouflage.
and you're blind. He has,
Sorry, Steven. Sorry.
Steven,
Continue, Steven.
There's some banter taking place in the. What else you got?
I'm really excited for NCAA football. Number one, because I just ended up selling my copy of 14 today.
Let's go.
So the value on that is probably going to drop pretty. But y'all were talking about, do you play Road to Glory or you play Dynasty?
Yes.
And I played Road to Glory until like 2009 because I like playing quarterback. And then we had a guy named Robert Griffin, and then after that Florence, and then Petty. So it really hurts the team if you put a freshman back there instead of one of those guys. But in 2008, which I am a pretty big pro on, I led the Baylor Bears, the 2009 Baylor Bears, who otherwise would have gone 4-8 to a 10-3 record. So we're doing big things over here, guys.
Let's go.
We're doing
Let's
big
go.
things.
Steven from Virginia, it's a big Tuesday, Super Tuesday. So I want to ask you, I have a question about the Baylor and Texas game tonight. That is, I'm going to give you 2. What's the final score? And then who's the leading scorer for both teams?
So I'm going to say the leading scorer for Baylor will be Jared Butler, and he will have around 25 points. Jared Butler is a big game player. I'm going to go with a score for the game of Baylor 83, Texas 69.
Nice.
And I like Andrew Jones a lot for Texas.
Okay. And then grocery shopping, what's your go-to grocery? Groceries.
I got to get, I used to drink a lot of soda, so back in the day I would have said Dr. Pepper. But these days I'm a Kool-Aid guy, so I got to get Kool-Aid.
Oh, yeah.
I've got to get macaroni and cheese. I've got to get milk. I've got to get bread and sandwich meat.
I love it. He's a pure college kid. Thank you
That's
for your
good.
call, Steven from Virginia.
Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Cruise, Tom
Take it
Hanks,
easy,
all
guys.
direct and act.
Michael Bay.
Take that.
Could have said, who's the goriest one of all time?
The goriest director, yeah.
Too easy.
I don't know.
I'll give you 2 after the commercial break. All right, we got a hit. We got a guest coming up. Who is?
Joe Murray.
Yeah!
98.5. Gambling
Joe Murray.
Brother of
extraordinary.
Bill Murray. They look identical. They sound
Very, very
identical.
similar.
You're
Very
going to see
similar.
it.
He is
Brother
the
of Bill
man.
Murray,
He's the
Joe
man.
Murray,
Yep.
joins us up next.
That's not true, but he is awesome. He's very good
You
at what he
told
does.
me off the air that it
Very
was
good at what he
true.
does. Very good at what he
believe you.
does.
I am
he's
Hoodie.
phenomenal.
This guy's plaid shirt. That guy's polo. And we got Barstool Golf.
is
This
Gingham.
is Up Tempo.
Love it.
Tee up this spring as Top Golf Live brings the epic Top Golf experience to Waco and McLean Stadium February 25th through February 28th. To purchase your tickets today, please visit www.topgolflive.com. www.topgolflive.com.
Big Monday lived up to the hype last night, starting the Big 12 with number 9 Oklahoma falling at 13 Texas Tech, 57-52 in Lubbock. The Sooners had won 3 straight games against top 10 opponents coming into the bout, but the Austin Reeves-less Sooners just didn't have enough down the stretch. Elsewhere, Louisville beat Georgia Tech at home 74-58. Miami upset Duke 77-75, and Memphis beat UCF 96-69. Turning to Baylor men's basketball, Davion Mitchell was named Big 12 Conference Player of the Week, while Jared Butler was selected to the Wooden late-season top 20 watch list. On the women's side, number 1 and previously undefeated Louisville goes down against number 4 NC State at home 74-60, despite guard Dana Evans scoring 29 points. Number 11 Ohio State fell to number 22 Northwestern on the road 69-57, and Grand Canyon improved to 10-3 with a 64-55 win against Tarleton State. On the Baylor side of things, Nalissa Smith has been selected to the Women's Wooden Award late season top 20 watch list. In golf, the Lady Bears hold a 13-stroke lead late in the second round of the 24th Invitational ahead of Oklahoma State, Texas, Texas Tech, Tulsa, Washington, and more. And the softball team has announced that just 300 fans can attend the games at Getterman Stadium this season, with excess tickets being sold after players elect their designated fans whom they wish to attend. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. It's been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With your Ram truck from Allen Samuels, you may not have to plow through snow and mud or pull heavy loads, but you could. During the Big Finish year-end event, you get a Ram deal like no other. Employee pricing for all, 0% for 84, and no payments for 90 days. Ram 1500 Lone Star for Christmas. No other truck comes close. And ask about Big Finish pricing on Ram Heavy Duty and Ram ProMaster for your business. Happy holidays from Allen Samuels.
How did Edward Jones become one of the biggest financial service companies in the world? By not acting that way. Financial strategies, one-on-one advice, it's a big difference. And that's why Brad Wilson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, makes sense of investing. Experience the difference for yourself. Brad Wilson, 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, 254-776-4337. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of healthcare while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. Sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance and there are no hidden costs. Even offering financing if that's needed, everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Waco Custom Marketplace is your home for holiday favorites for parties and the time with family. Various specials available in-store and online. A variety of steak gift boxes with 4 ribeyes for $70, 4 bacon wrap fillets for $55, or 4 New York strips for $50, and all come with steak butter. Fall snack box for watching a game or wrapping presents or hosting people at your house, including summer sausage, split horn, and jalapeno cheese and salted crackers for only $35. 2 pieces of lobster tails with herb butter and 2 bacon wrap fillets for $60. Order online or call in advance to ensure availability, or drop by Waco Custom Marketplace at 425 Lake Air Drive. Waco Custom Marketplace has a full-service butcher shop for customized orders or cuts of your favorite steaks or beef tenderloin or specially ordered prime rib roast. Plus, what you want with pork, poultry, seafood, and more. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or WacoCustomMarketplace.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I am Drake Toll. That's J.D. Pickell. Armstrong Sims and Cole are up in here with us. How about it today? It is Tuesday, Baylor game day. This guy didn't know that Quentin Tarantino is the goriest director of all time, but we enlightened him in the commercial break.
That's just so false. That's just so false.
And now, every day we do the SicEm Pick'em.
True.
SicEm Pick'em's right now. It is true. You had no idea.
This is not true.
Do SicEm Pick'em.
I have a movie-themed mug. Let's start there. I didn't say Star Wars.
And you didn't know that Quentin Tarantino was the goriest.
George Lucas.
Wow.
Let's roll.
That's okay. SicEm Pick'em. I am 35-14 overall in this game in Monopoly Money SicEm Pick'em.
Yep.
JD is 4-6.
That's right.
And we both had the same number of days to insert picks.
We just keep shooting, baby.
All right, and now.
Yep. And now we're joined by the godfather of Monopoly Money metrics, the man who I have followed his picks in Monopoly fashion since as long as I can remember. Joe Murray from 98.5, the Sports Hub in Boston, joins us. Joe, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks, guys. I'm staring at about 12 inches of snow outside that I have to go take care of at some point. But I'm excited to talk to. I feel like I'm talking to the Chip and Joanne of college pick'em right now.
Yeah,
so I'm excited for this.
That is confirmed. I mean, we've gotten that title multiple times. Hey, you guys are the Chip and Joanne of college sports. That's kind of the title that's followed us around. But
I
there's
would
worse
say
titles to have.
I am the Chip and Joanna. JD's more of like their dog, or maybe you are 3-6
I'm
right
a
now.
dog at heart. 4-6. Also,
you are 4-6.
We're tracking over like the last 2 weeks. Like,
and you've literally
2 weeks.
made 10 picks. Joe,
yeah.
Joe, what do you make of that? A guy who comes in for a SicEm Pick'em segment and only makes 10 picks in a week.
This is Drake's first time doing metrics, so he's really excited about this.
Well, I'll say
got a
this.
hot streak.
Shoot or shoot, man. Like,
yes.
You know, I'm the kind of guy that throws a bunch of stuff out there and hope it all sticks. I'll be honest with you guys. College hoops have been tough for me, and maybe it's great for you because you guys are following the Big 12 and you know Baylor basketball, but it's been extremely difficult on my end. I used to run on the Big 10. Like I look at the Big 10, I take that under, and you know I do really well. I can't predict Purdue on the road anymore. Like what's Indiana gonna be tonight? Like Michigan State, I'm out on Michigan State at this point. Is Iowa gonna bounce back? You know what I mean? So I can't figure out I'm blaming COVID for everything, but I don't know. We kind of missed out on that big Gonzaga Baylor game earlier in the year, and
I know
maybe that's made things better. I feel like maybe it's made the whole just basketball, you know, everything that's going on in hoops much better. But betting hasn't been easy this year. So it's a here 35 wins, 40. I'm very impressed by that.
Yeah, Drake is rolling. We've been saying Drake's one of the hottest, probably, arguably in the country right now. We like to think in our small bubble he is one of the best in the country.
We will say, Joe, I have been doing it. This is my 1 week anniversary of sports betting. So I am, you know, the highs are high, but I hear the lows, those are real low.
Yeah, I'll tell you, beginner's luck, my man. You know, it happened. That's what happened. That's how I got into betting. One day I was doing a teaser, and I'm like, oh, all right, I'll do this tease. I hit, and I'm like, all right, let's keep it going. It kept going, and then, you run into that little spell, you know what I mean?
I love that. Riffing on that, tell us more. How did you get into the betting world? We talk about monopoly betting here in Texas, but for yourself, obviously, being in a state where it's legal, how did you get into the game?
Not legal, actually. So I'm in Massachusetts, not legal. But to kind of look at it, we have surrounding states. Rhode Island's 30 minutes away. New Hampshire's 25 minutes away. So here, you know, you can just take a ride and do it on an app. You know, for me, I was an athlete, guys, for years. I was one of those guys who thought I was going to make it to the next level, and I loved everything. And I said, hey, what am I going to do with my life? I went into school, I got into the business, and, you know, nobody really talks sports betting, you know? So I would kind of look at it as, hey, what's it going to be tonight? Like, you got to understand, when I got into the business, the Patriots have won 3 championships now. You know what I mean? The Celtics won in 2008. The Bruins win in 2011. The Patriots go on another 3-year run. I mean, this has been title town, and I'm not kissing ass of I'm in the best sports town in America, but, dude, all we did was bet on big games. And after a while, it's like, how do you not bet on this stuff? You know what I mean? To make it interesting, we just had championship weekend, and it's like the Patriots aren't here, but Tom Brady is. And for me, like, I don't even know if I can fade Tom Brady in the Super Bowl this year because it's like, he's made me so much money. So I don't want to lose any more money betting against him at this point. So, but yeah, guys, we've been doing a show here. We got a promotion from DraftKings, and let's see where it goes. But I'm glad to see other people are into this, and it's the excitement, right? Hey, you lose a game, you don't lose your shirt, you move on to the next one. But I'm telling you, it really helps you discuss the game and learn more about the game, and that's what it's all about for me.
Boom! I love it, Joe. See, I was going through this lull in my life where I was watching games and the monotony of collegiate sports just was too much for me. I couldn't find myself jumping off the couch anymore. But when your Monopoly money is put into those games, you suddenly jump off the couch at an exponential rate. And you talked about big games, which I should clarify. We here only play with Monopoly money, Joe, because it's illegal in Texas. So we solely have our fraternity brothers pool some Monopoly money and then play with that. But you talked about being in on big games. Last night, I had Drake. Drake and Illinois State had gone to overtime on Sunday. Last night, Drake was a 19-point favorite. And I thought, how? The night after going to OT, they're a 19-point favorite. Final score, Drake 95-60. I had Illinois State plus 19. Would you say that is the equivalent to betting a Super Bowl?
Drake's been a good bet this year overall, but I would say this. Have you noticed in these back-to-back matchups, generally, if it's a close game, one game, it's not the next, but like that's something I've noticed here. Just on my end, but Drake is like an automatic bet for me at this point. Like I'm not going to fade them. They've been one of the better betting teams in the country there. But I don't know. Everything's a big game when you got money on it, right? Isn't that what it comes down to, right?
That's the thing. I mean, do you go with what you're seeing on tape? Because I mean, I'll be honest with you. I have Eastern Kentucky and like Coppin State or whoever it is later that I'm picking. I haven't watched either of those teams play any basketball. Are you picking numbers or are you picking what you've seen on TV?
So, guys, I go by trends. You got to buck the trend or you got to go with it. But when the team plays really well at home or has dominated at home in the last 5 meetings, that's something you have to look at. I think trends are a lot. I think looking at what how the previous matchups are is also very good. I know we'll get into that Baylor game coming up in a minute here, but there's a lot of trends in that game, which makes me lean a specific side. I think totals have been hard this year. I don't know if you guys are really taking sides or anything like that, but overall though, like I think you do have to look into a lot. And now we don't know sometimes who's playing before games.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then you gotta watch the line. Line movement's another thing, especially with totals. If you see something open at 134 and all of a sudden it's 132, someone knows something why the total's going down. So keep your eyes on line movement as well.
Let me ask you this too. So I found Eastern Kentucky Jacksonville State is today.
That's what it is.
And Jacksonville State, they're 6-4 in conference play. They've lost 2 out of their last 4, including a 20-point loss to Morehead State. Whereas Eastern Kentucky has won 5 straight, and their last win was by 40 points. When you look at that, and you see that the much better team, granted they're on the road, but the much better team is a 2-point dog, is the first thing you do go to see, hey, who's injured? Or why is this like this? Or in general, is it just sometimes Vegas says, whatever, we'll make it a 2-point game?
Yeah, so just in that game in particular, high total, right? 151, so both teams can score. Jacksonville State's 4-2 at home, but if you look at it, they're 3-6 against the spread the last 10 games.
Yeah.
Where if you look at it on the flip side, Eastern Kentucky, 9-1 their last 10, they're 6-1-1 against the spread. So the better team to put your money on is Eastern Kentucky. Yeah, Jacksonville State's favored. Let me give you the trends on it. Road team, 15-6 against the spread the last 21. The under has been a hit in this matchup overall here. But yeah, that's a weird line, dude. To me, Eastern Kentucky and going with that road trend is the way to go. Despite Jacksonville State at home, maybe they play better at home. Is it senior night? Like, what is it? And I think those are the things we have to look at into that game.
Wow. Now, what's your philosophy when you get down? Like, anyone who sticks around long enough, you get down, right? You go under. How far is too far to go down to where you're like, hey, man, we just got to settle up, start fresh? Like, what's your philosophy there? Do you shoot your way out of a trench, or what's the play there?
There's always next week, man, right? I mean, how it works for me Monday to Sunday, and then you pay the guy on that next Friday, and so for me, it's kind of like on the Sunday slates, Friday night slates aren't always great. They're these Jacksonville State type games.
Yeah.
I try to switch it up. Maybe go to a different league. Maybe get off of college basketball, go on to something else. Maybe hit a couple of UFC games at night, fights at night. But yeah, dude, just remember, there's always another week, man. And what we preach on our show Over Under is, we got tagged the Bankroll Boys. That was our tag.
Yeah.
Well, the big thing with us is, dude, you want $100? All right, let's put 50 of that 100 on the next day. All right, great. Now we're at 150. So let's put 50. All right, great. Now we're at 200. You want to build a bankroll. So when you're betting, you're not betting your own money, man. You're betting a bankroll that you've built that you can put a percentage on every single bet. It's hard to do, man. That's the hardest thing with betting, right? Is saying no, holding back. Like, dude, I bet half times and I bet quarters and first period unders and stuff. And after a while, you really have to watch your money management. But if you have a bankroll, you can do these parlays. You can do these things. I don't suggest parlays and teasers, guys, but if you got the bankroll, do it. You might find some great value in some of those numbers.
So, Joe, I'll ask you, oddly enough, this past Saturday, I had 4 parlays in play, 3 of which hit. And 2 of the 3 were 3-team, 1 was a 4-team. What I've come to notice, and which we study college basketball for a living. I mean, that's what we get paid to do. And I know that doesn't really translate to, this is what's going to happen. But we've got a pretty good grasp on the trends and what's going on in the sport. That said, what I've come to notice is say I've got a 3-team parlay, and then I find a money line where a team is favored by 10, but the money line is still out there and available by my Monopoly bookie, I'll put it in there to make it a 4-team parlay just to boost that total up, that total payout up. Is that a bold strategy or something that you'd say, hey, that's all right to go with?
I would say for the most part, it's fine. But I'll give you guys a scenario. Not sure if you remember. It's probably 10 years ago. It was the Seattle Seahawks made the playoffs as a 7-9 team and played the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
The Saints were -10, -500. Beast, there you go. Boom. I'm like, hey, you know what? They're not going to lose to them. Let's put the 500. I lost. So, that's one that just stands out to me. I bet a UFC fight, Brock Lesnar, -500, dude, right? He gets punched in the face by Overeem in 5 seconds. And I lost the fastest $500 I ever lost in my life. You know what I mean? But these things happen, man. But be careful on parlays, man. Just be careful. And there are other things you can do, man. I like to do a little action reverse, where if one team hits, one team doesn't, you still don't lose as bad. You know what I mean? So just be careful with parlays, man, because if that's all you're doing, dude, you're going to be chasing. I got to hit this next parlay so I can get double money. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Why don't you just bet 2 games for $200? Now you're up 240 to win 200, and you're on to the next one. Let's say you're up 800, then you can start doing parlays. You know what I mean? So just be smart with it, because you'll be chasing parlays forever, man.
Sounds like something I might have said a week
ago. I'll tell you this, though. I love the 3-team teams. Right? The 2-team, you got to pay the juice for the vig. The 3-teamer, it's like, now we don't have to pay the juice, we get more money. So sometimes I like that than I prefer a 3-team parlay.
And that's the thing, too. I'm being hypocritical here. I love parlays. They're so fun. And that's the biggest thing about Monopoly betting for us is hey, this is really, really fun. Where's the line between this is fun and this is a good play? What's your
Joe, my mom watches this show. I'm going to need you to go ahead and ease her mind a little bit.
Hey, Ma, listen. Baylor's really good. And if you want to, I think you should bet on Baylor and Texas. I don't know. Maybe, the over hit. I'm sorry, the under hit in the Auburn game. So maybe Baylor and the under is the way to go. If Baylor's very good, so don't worry about him betting on Baylor.
Yeah, you hear that, Mom? See? Baylor's good.
The under, yeah.
How about, and Joe, today's slate, when I look across the board in games, especially that are Power 5, I myself have come to find, and I've talked to a couple people that have kind of helped me get into this, that have said, hey, there are typically games in the mid-major that Vegas, quote-unquote, overlooks. I know that's a really bold way to put it, but games you go, okay, that doesn't make a lot of sense. And I've hit a few of those that just seem like, it was almost an easy pick in a mid-major. But tonight, I'm looking at like UNC -2.5, Baylor -5.5, or a money line on Arkansas, or a money line on Purdue. What do you see tonight across college basketball that you really like?
Arkansas at home has been very good. 11-1 at home this year. It's funny because on our podcast last week, I mentioned watch out for Mississippi State. They're not the greatest team, but they know how to win.
Yeah.
BYU goes on the road tonight against a crap San Diego team at home. Might be something to look at. And I'll just throw one out at you guys. Illinois off a big win, right? Off a big wins taking on Indiana at home, and Indiana's getting 2 at home. Smells fishy. Smells fishy to me in that one there. So like Nevada's maybe a team to back tonight. This Stanford team I can't figure out, man.
Yeah,
like I can't figure them out, but I lean USC in that one tonight. So I don't know. There's a lot of like Dayton, Duquesne's another one. You would figure Dayton all day, but. Why is the line the way that they are? But hey, Tuesday night hoops, man. This is where it's at.
Super Tuesday.
This used to be a big thing. And you know who's really struggling is Marquette. I watched Butler play the other day. They struggled so bad against Georgetown first half. They lit it up second half. They're 3.5-point dogs to Marquette, who's not playing good ball.
No.
Remember that Butler started out hot. So keep that in mind going into tonight's game.
I have learned, Joe, that I do really well on the Tuesday slate, do really well on the Saturday slate. But when you get nights, even Wednesday's okay, but when you get nights like Friday night or Sunday night where it's just, oh man, who are these teams and what is going on? Those don't seem to go as well. Is that a trend that you see as well?
It's all about the slate in general, right? There's so many postponed. Last night, what we get? Texas Tech at night last night.
Yeah.
And that was really the only game I looked at. I mean, I watched wrestling Monday Night Raw instead of betting on games last night. I watched the Bruins come back down 3-0 to beat to beat Washington. So it really like tonight's a much better slate, and there's at least 4 or 5 games I want to bet on. But there's only one game you want to bet tonight.
Right.
If you're gonna put all your money in one basket tonight, to me it's Baylor, it's Texas.
Yeah.
And I got a side, my man.
Let's hear it. Can you give us a little sneak peek? I know you're talking about it probably on the air later.
So guys, here's the deal. Baylor's too deep.
Yeah.
They're too deep.
Yep.
So I'll tell you this one. I bet Auburn plus 14.5 on Saturday. Now the reason for it is Auburn's been putting up 85 points a game, and they hit a backdoor. They hit a backdoor layup. All right, but I'm on the right side of it. 12 points. I hit the second half at plus 7. I just thought that Auburn would hang around. It had nothing to do with Baylor or anything like that. It stayed under the total, which I couldn't believe. In that one here, but let's just look at it. Texas is getting 5.5 at home. They've lost their last 3 games that they've lost were against ranked opponents. So now 16-0 teams coming in there. Like they're going to get Sims back. They're going to get another player back as well tonight. But let me give you some trends because this is what I like to look at. The total is 144.5. You guys mentioned Tuesdays. Baylor's 4-0 against the spread the last 4 Tuesday games.
Wow, okay.
So keep that in mind. The over in their last 4 games overall, and again, it did go over last game. Now I'm looking at it. 4-0 in their last 4 games. So look at that. The road team is 9-3 against the spread the last 12 meetings here. Only thing that concerns me is the favorite. And take a look at this one. 5-2 against the spread the last 7 meetings. This has Baylor written all over it. Baylor's not losing to Texas, guys. I'm sorry. It's not happening. Could they cover the spread? Absolutely. They're not losing tonight. So I don't know what you got for a money line. What do you got, like 240?
Let's see.
Oh, yeah. Probably. It's
ESPN has money line at they're 5.5 right now. The money line is -250.
That's a little juicy for me. But Texas 3-7 against the spread.
Mm-hmm.
Their last 10 games, they're 2-7 against the spread at home.
Wow.
So this is Baylor or nothing for me, guys.
We love it.
I'd buy the hook maybe to 5. It's probably going to go up to 6 at some point. But
now, for people that don't know what buying the hook is, myself included, what would that entail?
So 5.5 would mean you have to win the game by 6 or more.
Right.
So if you buy the half a point, it's only going to cost you what, $15, $10, something like that.
Interesting. Okay.
So you can buy points in order to, because what happens if they win by 5?
Right. We were talking about that before the show. Is it 5.5 or 5, and what does that?
Yeah, I normally buy the hook in these football games, like in a football game, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's 7, I buy it to 6 because what happens if it goes into overtime and there's a touchdown with overtime? You know what I'm saying?
What about 4.5? Would you go all the way down to 4.5, or is that not worth it?
No, because what happens if they only win by 4? What happens if they win by? You know what I'm saying? It's just some people find value in that. I just don't want to be on the end of a hook, is what I call it. I lose by a half a point. Nobody wants that. But Jared Butler in that last meeting, if you saw it here, he played very well. What's that dude's name? Flo Tamba.
Yep.
Dude he's gonna be. I like Sims for Texas, but Tamba's gonna have the big night tonight, and I believe Sims and somebody else are coming off that COVID protocol. So I think they're good to go. But Texas, their last 3 lots, they've been without 3 players, so they're gonna get those guys back tonight. It's just not gonna be enough against Baylor, in my opinion.
Love it. Well, Joe, thanks so much for joining, man. We appreciate having you on and dropping some knowledge on everyone in the set. I think we're all better for it and feel a lot more confident going into tonight's game, especially with the metrics that this game entails. So thanks so much, man, for coming on. You're always welcome. And again, 98.5, the Sports Hub, Joe Murray just produces absolute bangers on that show every single time. Thanks so much, Joe.
You got it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right, everybody. How about it when we come back from this break? We got Dead or Alive on Up Tempo today. How about that? Joe joining the show, giving us his picks today, saying Baylor. Hammer Baylor today. How about it? We're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. We're coming back, I should say. You're not going anywhere. Yeah. We're going to play Dead or Alive right after this on Up Tempo.
Brady throws, end zone. He's got Evans for the touchdown.
Super Bowl 55 in Tampa, Florida, and SicEm365 Radio will be live at NFL Media Headquarters in Radio Row, Wednesday through Friday from 3 until 6. Hi, this is David Smoak. Join Paul Catalina and me for daily news and notes on the Buccaneers and Chiefs, interviews with players, coaches, and personalities.
The presenting sponsor of Super Bowl 55 coverage from Tampa, Florida on SicEm365 Radio is Marco's Pizza, pizza for pizza lovers, with locations in Woodway, China Spring, and Belmead.
Here's Mahomes. Look at underhanded. He throws it for the touchdown. How about that throw?
Little underhand.
Also brought to you by IdealMRI.com, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, Waco Custom Marketplace, Boozer's Jewelers, Stonewood Dental, Richard Carr Buick GMC Cadillac.
Here's the fake toss. Able to get away and find Hill at the 35-30. Hill inside the 20.
Edward Jones Financial Advisors, Petty Clinic Low T, Pioneer Steel and Pipe, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat, and Impact Health Labs.
Brady goes for the deep shot. He's got a touchdown! Scotty Miller!
Buccaneers and Chiefs in Super Bowl 55 in Tampa, and we're live Wednesday through Friday, 3 until 6 from NFL Media Headquarters on SicEm365 Radio.
All right, welcome back to the boom. Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears. I missed there was no intro music, so we made our own right there. Oh my goodness, how about it, folks? Today we are playing Dead or Alive. I think we have Dead or Alive music. It is the one thing that makes Dead or Alive not completely dark and terrible.
We got 45 seconds. It's loading up.
Oh, on the song?
The song is. It's the same as the 2-minute drill.
Hey, what?
Which is kind of dark.
It is.
We should do a Sway in the morning kind of thing. Have people on and just do 5 different beats and have them freestyle.
You know some good freestylers?
I can put out an ad.
Martin Scorsese, Michael Bay.
Name 5 freestylers.
Anthony Lucas.
George Lucas.
Lil Yachty.
George Lucas.
Genius.
George Lucas.
Sorry. Haha. Bum, bum, bum.
What does your coffee cup say just for the audience?
This was a gift from my girlfriend for Christmas. It says, "I like my coffee on the dark side."
I like it,
and it has Darth Vader on there.
Oh,
like it.
so funny. Very funny.
Okay,
we have so this right here too.
There it is. The witching hour is upon us.
All right, we're playing Dead or Alive today. We played it last week, and nobody died, which is good.
That is good.
We're starting a new streak, and this is the streak of playing Dead or Alive, and no one from the game dies.
Since our last nonsense.
Today, it is political figures.
Oh.
Political figures, dead or alive. Number 1, Vice President to George W. Bush, Dick Cheney, dead or alive?
I'll say alive.
Alive.
He is alive! Dick Cheney is 80 years old.
Starting off strong.
How about a little Spyro Agnew? Richard Nixon's vice president.
Dead.
He is dead. He would have been 103 today. Sorry.
Happy birthday, Spyro.
If I guess dead and they are alive, that is the worst.
This feels like a Black Mirror episode every single time.
It really is, because the outcome is seldom ever good.
It's been bleak.
Bob Dole, U.S. Senate Majority Leader, 1976 Republican Vice Presidential nominee, and 96 Republican Presidential nominee, Bob Dole.
Bob Dole's alive.
I'm going to go alive.
Bob Dole is alive.
There we
He
go.
is 97. Bob Dole. Congratulations, Bob, making it this far.
Never a dull moment.
Walter Mondale, the Vice President under Jimmy Carter.
Dead.
Alive.
Walter Mondale's alive!
Yeah.
93!
Is that the guy who's behind Casey Lightfoot in the pole vault?
No, that's Mondale
French guy?
Duplantis.
The French guy who celebrated yesterday?
He did the starfish on his boy after they jumped the same as a 21-year-old.
There's the Kennedy administration, the Kennedy family, that everyone's dead. Like, there's no one left in the Kennedys. But the Carters, for some reason, anything that Jimmy Carter touches just lives forever, including his vice president, who's 93 years old, Walter Mondale.
Got to have him on the show.
Congratulations for being alive. Oh, with Jimmy Carter?
If we could pull Walter Mondale on the show.
Or Jimmy Carter.
That would be impressive.
Speaking of, Jimmy Carter, dead or alive?
He's definitely alive.
Oh, Jimmy Carter's alive. You didn't know that he's 96.
That's right. I almost gave that away because earlier I was like, everything Jimmy Carter touches lives forever, including himself.
And that would have yeah, you're up by 2 right now. How about this?
Killing it.
Now I just remember
not.
I just remember the weird hexy that this game has on people, and I really hope this game doesn't continue the trend it started with.
Yeah.
Because these are some names that I love very dearly.
Why'd you put him on the list?
I don't know.
So I'm assuming they're alive.
I did just use the term "I'm killing it."
I thought was that on purpose?
No, it was not on purpose.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh no, Armstrong.
Supreme Court Justice John Paul Stevens, dead or alive?
I'm gonna say alive.
Alive?
Dead.
He is dead. He would have been 100.
Armstrong
Stop celebrating.
3.
Stop
Armstrong's
celebrating.
3 right
Stop
now.
I'm so sorry.
celebrating.
Rolling.
I'm so sorry.
Barry Goldwater, who ran for president against Lyndon B. Johnson.
Yeah.
Dead or alive?
Alive.
Alive.
He is dead.
Okay, well.
And if he had
least
been alive, he would be 112.
Happy birthday.
No,
Some
it's not even
Goldwater.
his birthday.
Barry Goldwater. He's the guy who wrote.
112.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I know who that is.
He wrote the Goldwater
It's
stuff.
your birthday every day if you're
He
112.
wrote Conscious of a Conservative, right?
Yeah, sure. Rosalind Carter.
Never mind.
Wife of Jimmy Carter.
Alive.
Alive.
She's alive.
There we
She's
go.
93
There we
years
go.
old today. Hopefully, she stays alive. Her and the rest of the Carters. When one goes, you know the dominoes just fall.
Oh, man.
The dominoes just fall with the Carter. They
is that
have
the
to
law
all
of
go.
nature?
They have to go out together. You would hope. Ted Kennedy, brother of John F. Kennedy.
Alive.
Dead.
He is dead.
Okay, earlier you
What?
said all the Kennedys are dead.
Everything the Kennedys touch dies, including our flowers. And then
did he come in and touch that?
yeah, well, not Ted.
Oh, gosh.
jeez. That is Dead or Alive today. Armstrong Sims wins it in a blowout. Blowout on top of JD.
I will say that's my first loss in Dead or Alive. My first loss.
That's your first loss?
But it was an ugly
JD does
loss.
not know who's dead and who's alive.
If that's my first loss, then evidently it is. I do know who's dead or alive, except for today.
I would ask.
On the dark side.
Politically, you don't. Politically, you have no idea. I like the political, We won't do that again. It's tough to find names everybody knows, but I like that. Hopefully the ones that are alive stay alive, and the ones that are dead, don't come back alive.
Don't come back to life.
What? I'm just calling it like it is. That's what we do here on Uptempo. How about JD's SicEm Pick'em today? We're going to do a little SicEm Pick'em. I want your picks. You have literally picked 10 games. Yeah. I have picked 49 games since we started doing this.
In your first week.
And
49 games?
And I'm 35 and 14.
Yeah. No, you're killing it.
The folks at home they've won. I am up 21 games right now.
No, you're killing it. You're killing it.
Yeah, you are killing it.
And I'm not going to stop picking a ton of games just to, cradle my...
First of all, younger than me, so the cradle thing, you're
cradling. You've only picked 10 games. You have nothing on these games. You've only picked 10. Literally.
What do you want me to say?
There is no risk for you to pick more than 10 games.
So I should pick games that I don't know about. I should pick games that I don't feel good about.
What have I done? I'd go with my gut.
And you've won.
Gosh, darn it.
If you don't feel good about the games, don't pick them. That's the thing.
I'm not telling people they have to pick them, but I'm still going to pick these for the sake of the game.
Yeah. Okay. So we're both agreeing that you should pick games you feel good about. You don't just throw money at games.
I'm not throwing money at every one of these. Monopoly money.
You feel good about it,
but
so
I'm telling the people what looks good, and I have been right so far.
Yes.
You've been wrong in 10 games.
I haven't been wrong in 10 games. I've been 4 and 6.
Which is under 500.
Right. Okay. So in this past week, I've been under 500. I'm 4 and 6.
All right, build it back.
So my thing is, if you feel good about a game, you pick it. If you don't, you don't. I've felt good about 10 games. Been right 40% of the time.
I felt good about 50.
Here we go. Yeah, and you've been right.
Yeah.
This has been the most absurd showing of me having to play defense.
This is sportsmanship.
Entire
It's a
series.
championship game.
It's true. I kind of feel bad for JD.
Dude, I'm just having to go to battle.
10. That just sucks.
You only feel good about.
We can't compare records if you only pick 10 games.
Yeah, you can.
Also, you're picking games we don't have shows on. So, if you're picking games of the weekend, I'm not making picks over the weekend.
It's true.
All right, here we go.
Sounds like
Here are my 3 games that I feel good about. Drake probably feels good about 30 games, and that's great. But here are the games that I feel good about.
I respect it.
Yeah, here are the games I feel good about. Eastern Kentucky +2 against Jacksonville State. We talked about that. EKU has won their last 5. Currently, the 3rd best team against the spread in the country, 10-2-1. They're playing stifling defense. They're averaging 12 steals a game. That's a real stat. 12 steals a game. And they're +2 against Jacksonville State. I like that a lot. Morgan State -2, 8-2 all year against the spread. They're playing Coppin State. I never knew Coppin State was a place until today. They just played a few nights ago. They won 79-76. This is their 4th time playing this season. In the last month, they've played 3 other times. Morgan State's 2-1. I like them with the 2 tonight in the game that we talked about with Joe Murray. I think we're all in agreement here. Baylor 5.5, 5, whatever it is. I like Baylor up to probably 7 points, honestly, tonight against Texas. They're 12-4 against the spread. Baylor's one of the best teams in the country against the spread. I like that a lot. He said it well. Baylor is 2 deep. I think they cover that 5 easy. It's my 3 picks. Take them to the bank. And Drake will probably give you more volume, which is great. But these are the picks I feel good about, and I'm rolling with it.
I'll give you more volume and a better win percentage.
I am not apologizing. Dude, you bet 5 days. Let's all calm down.
You have also bet 5 days.
No, I'm saying 5 days in your life.
Okay, and how has that worked out for both of us compared?
You've done great. I'm not saying you haven't done bad. I'm just saying,
so what are you saying?
Let's give it some more time. I just said, let's give it some more time. You've done great in a lot of volume. It's awesome. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, don't feel bad if you're picking games that you don't feel great about.
You picked Coppin State. You didn't pick North Carolina or Purdue or Tennessee or Arkansas or Dayton.
I don't want to touch them.
Coppin State.
Don't want to touch them.
But you'll touch Coppin State.
Yep, Morgan State's -2. They're one of the best teams against the spread.
You would.
I would and I did. They're one of the best teams against the spread.
You
Morgan
would
State
touch Coppin State.
I just did, yes. Actually, I touched Morgan State. They're -2 against Coppin State.
You would not touch Coppin State. You're the kind of guy that would not touch Coppin State.
Morgan State is one of the best teams in the country against the spread.
That is the one thing that I can say to you with confidence.
I'm lost now, but
all right. I am Drake Toll. He is lost. Armstrong Sims and Cole are in here with us. When we come back, Andy Thomas of the Baylor baseball team joins Up Tempo.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Ingham with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like First Free Checking, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Bird Culture Ford has been in Waco since 1936. Ford, the #1 selling truck in Texas, 43 years running. And Bird Culture Ford proudly supports high school football in Central Texas. And no better way to tailgate with a Ford than from Bird Culture Ford. And are there better vehicles to tailgate with than the Ford F-150 or the Ford Expedition? And of course, you can get them new, pre-owned Bird Culture Ford. Our sponsor of the Ford Tough Player of the Week, locally owned dealership. Online at bkford.com at 1701 West Loop 340 in Waco. Bird Culture Ford.
The holidays are here, and I have a simple question for you. Will you weigh as much more or less than you do right now when the holidays are over? Why not end the year in better shape than when you started and create momentum for 2021? Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness has numerous options for stocking stuffer gifts with gift cards for gym or tennis membership, fitness merchandise, tanning, massage, tennis lessons, and personal training. Perhaps a gift for a client, a family member, or a friend. You just need to walk through the front door to change your life. Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness with personal trainers Christy London and Randall Corley. 40-plus group exercise classes, including twice-a-week boot camp. Spacious, clean workout room, free weights, Cybex cardio equipment, and no intimidation. A tremendous camaraderie and family atmosphere. So get the best and healthiest Christmas gift you can for someone or yourself. It's time to react today, not tomorrow, at Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness on Lake Shore Drive in Waco.
Learning to navigate life in the COVID-19 world has been a struggle, and where and how to get tested has been one of the biggest challenges. Impact Health Labs has your answer. If you need mass testing for your office, church, dormitory, or school, Impact Health Labs is who to call. They will come to you, conduct the testing at your location, and have the test back within 24 hours. Most major insurance accepted, meaning your out-of-pocket cost is low. So no more waiting by the phone for days to find out the results. Impact Health Labs was founded by 3 Army licensed and credentialed medical professionals. They believe in accuracy, efficiency, and doing the job right. Call 254-744-6233 to set up your group screening today. Impact Health Labs, on-site, prompt, and accurate, taking COVID-19 head-on. Again, that number is 254-744-6233 or online at impacthealthlabs.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Welcome back into the Penny Clinic Low T Bears Den. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Super Tuesday at a Baylor game day. It's BU and UT in Austin tonight. A top 10 matchup at the Irwin Center. And right now, even bigger, Andy Thomas of the Baylor baseball team joins us. 6'2", 210, Andy. That's bigger than the Baylor Texas game tonight. What do you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
How about it, Andy? Look, man, you have been just kind of the definition of a Baylor Bear here since starting in 2017, being along the ride with this baseball program, and just tell me, what does it mean to you now in your super senior year to be a Baylor Bear?
Oh man, that's a good question. Being a Baylor Bear is it's all about family, it's all about community. Definitely about school, definitely about sports, but being a Baylor Bear is loving your teammates just as much as you love everything and anything in your life. So I've loved all my 5 years here. It's been incredible. The coaching staff, the teammates, everyone has just been the community is off the charts. When you come in here and you commit, you hear about the family and how Baylor's such a community, and it's true to form. All 5 years I've been here, it's been the same experience.
Let me ask you this, Andy. Coming into this season as a super senior, we talked to Taylor Ellis, the softball team, a couple days ago, and she's gotten some of the grandpa jokes. Have you gotten any of those as practices kicked off?
Yeah, for sure. A couple years ago, we had Richard Cunningham, who was a fifth year, and I always would joke with him about, hey, you're a grandpa now. You're getting too old to even play this game, and it's starting to bite me a little bit. I'm getting those jokes from teammates, coaches, and I'm sure the fans will start at it if we get some. So.
Well, let me take you back, Andy, to last season, your senior campaign that was really supposed to be your last, and everything was pointing to that being your last first game and your last time to step out at Baylor Ballpark, and it wasn't, in just such an odd circumstance. But tell me, when you guys first came in contact with COVID, I remember the series out in California and the TSA agent who tested positive, and that was just madness. Walk me through what exactly went down in that week for you guys.
Yeah, for sure. So we got back from Cal Poly. It was a normal trip. It was really good. We won 2 out of 3. Should have won 3 out of 3 on Friday night. Gave it up, but we got back and had our practice, I believe, on Monday. And then on Tuesday, we got to practice, and there was kind of an eerie feeling going on. Nobody really knew what was up. The coaches were acting a bit strange and a bit distant. In the middle of practice, a bunch of our coaches kind of just left the field, had to go like either emergency meeting or something. And we all thought, oh, that's kind of weird. And we kind of heard COVID was going around and whatnot. We didn't know the severity of it. And they brought us into the locker room and was like, we're going to be shut down for a week, maybe 2 weeks. We're going to have to maybe potentially quarantine. We're going to block classes for, 2 weeks or so. And kind of just a weird feeling at first. And it was good and it was fun. And everyone that it was kind of cool, and then it started to get really serious. And I don't know. It's so strange. It was just so different. So nothing like anything anybody's seen before. And so we had to just kind of play it by ear, and that was really hard.
So, Andy, tell me, when you got the message that said your season was done, that you wouldn't play baseball in a Baylor uniform again last season, did the thought cross your mind that your career as a Baylor Bear was over?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was. I didn't think the NCAA would give us another year back. Not anything wrong with the NCAA, just that it would be too many people, too many logistics to get guys back in here, and female athletes as well. But yeah, I thought it was done. It's kind of a weird feeling to have it just cut short like that without anything that you can do about it. So it was strange.
When you did find out, hey, the season's over and there's hope of coming back, but there wasn't a ton of hope, especially there on the front end. Was that emotional at all for you? Did it really feel like you didn't give your final season due at Baylor?
Yeah, that was the initial reaction, and it wasn't sadness as much as it was just kind of anger for me. I was just mad, and no, it wasn't justified, but I was just mad. But I'm a pretty positive person, so I got over that pretty quickly, and kind of had glass half full mentality about it, and was hoping for the best, and it worked out.
So for you then, on the back end of that, getting the message, Andy, you can come back for Baylor. The NCAA is going to grant extra eligibility. Was that even more emotional for you, knowing you'd have a shot to play for the Bears again?
No, I don't think emotional is the right word. It was pure joy. I mean, if you want to call pure joy emotional, sure. But no, I was ecstatic. I was ready to get back here. As long as I could make it work financially, there was no question that I was returning.
So what went in that decision too? Because I know I talked to a couple of players, especially when this was going down, about how most people, their senior year, have a plan after college. I've set up for a job, or I'm going into the workforce, or whatever that may be. For you, did you have to put anything on hold? What goes into the decision to take a whole year of your life, block it off, and play baseball again?
Yeah, it was difficult. My plan was to go to law school after last year. I got accepted into a school in Dallas, and that was pretty tough to have to tell them, I have this really weird situation at Baylor where I can come back and play another year of baseball, and I'm not ready to give that up yet. So that was my plan. I was going to go to law school. That's still my plan after this next year and whatnot. But yeah, it was weird. It was a lot of uncertainty too, not knowing when we'd come back, not knowing how long we'd come back, not know if we could actually come back and be on the field, if it was just going to be, if football was going to get off. There was so many variables that had to happen for us to get to where we're at now, and I'm just so happy where we're at.
Andy, I can remember, and this is only vaguely comparable. I can remember my high school graduation. You sit there, and one of the thoughts that runs through my head is, I know, I like that he smirked. Like, yeah, I did. I graduated high school. Come on now, don't doubt. But the feeling of I'm in this room. I'm in a room with 250 people that I will never be in a room with again. I will never see these people again in the same capacity. And when it comes to the baseball team, I'm sure that thought crossed your head. I will never be in the same room with those guys as a baseball program again. But when the fall hit, and Coach Rod and the entire squad gathered together for the first time, was it just a little bit different?
It was. I took a lot of things for granted in the 4 years, and this year I'm trying to not take things for granted, I guess. You start to recognize all the blessings, too, and you come back for a fifth year when you didn't think you're going to get another chance to do it. And so coming back this year has been really special. It's been a lot different.
And tell me, too, for you and getting out on the practice field, with the young guys especially, I know there are a lot of big names in that freshman class coming in. Does it feel like you've got this, that you're looked at as not just a grandpa of the team in general, but for those young guys? I mean, these dudes are, 18 years old coming in, and you're 26, 27? I mean, how do you handle that?
Yeah, it's hard. No, it's really hard. It's hard to relate with it. It almost feels like a different generation, honestly. Guys are 18 telling different jokes that I've never heard before. So it's just interesting.
Wow, a little bit of Bitcoin, Dogecoin action. Are they all in on the GameStop?
Exactly. They're talking about GameStop and AMC, and I'm like, wow, I'm still talking about ETFs.
I love it. So tell me, Andy, looking into this season too, for you from a personal standpoint, and before, I want to talk about practice here in a little bit, but before even that, you got the nod as a Big 12 preseason, all Big 12 team at catcher. When you got that message, was that a surprise to you, and what was your immediate reaction?
No, it wasn't a surprise. I feel like I'm one of the better defenders in the country, and I'll prove that this year.
That's it. Cut and dry. That's it. I love it. Sell it like it is.
Got to have a little confidence in yourself, and I know how good of a defender I am, and hopefully that'll show this year.
I love it. And that chip that you have on your shoulder, knowing you've been here before, coming in 5 years, you've had playing experience at Baylor like looking up and down what you've done in your time in Baylor, you're one of the more experienced players, not just here, but in the entire conference, entire country with your playing time. Going into this season, do you feel like that is going to set you apart from the rest of the players, not just in the conference, but the country? And on that, are you confident you could make a run at Player of the Year, Catcher of the Year, and maybe even a run into the Major League Draft?
Yeah, for sure. I got to have high expectations for myself at all, but I can't look at the experience as something that's going to, I have experience, so everyone needs to watch out. No, I got to go out there and play hard every day, just like a young guy does, just like a third year does. So you got to have that same dog mentality as all the rest of the people do and go out there and try and beat everyone as hard as I can every day.
Andy, with the extended break that you guys had too because of COVID, now that you've gotten back out there and been able to practice in this spring slate, the whole team coming together, does it feel different? Was there any rust to shake off, or are you right back in the best form you've been?
There was a little rust to shake off, yeah, for sure. We had, we usually only get 3 months off in summertime. Some people don't even take summer off; they go play summer ball. But this time, some guys had 6-7 months off. That's hard to come back from. So you got to get yourself in not only workout shape, but baseball shape and playing shape. And that took time. So knowing that a lot of our guys went harder this fall trying to get ready for this spring. So we had guys going all out and all the way up to November and December, getting ready, get their bodies back ready for January and February to start.
When you think about winning a Big 12 championship and what the program has been able to do, this is such a loaded question, especially because practice is just now starting and you have no idea how this team will perform in games. But does it feel like this team has not just the potential to win a Big 12 title, but it is a legitimate possibility this team's making a run?
100%. Yeah. We're deep at every position. It's incredible. We got 7 catchers on our staff. We have 8, 9 infielders. We got 7 or 8 outfielders, and we have pitching for days. So it's not about depth. It's about when we get on the field, are we going to be able to lace it up and perform to the best of our abilities? And if we do, we'll be a top team in the country, no doubt.
Is it too bold to say then that this might be the most talented Baylor team you have played for?
It's not too bold. I think the depth, it's the deepest team we've had. I think that we have a lot of different talent than we've had before. When I came in, we had Shea Davis, Cody Bradford, and Nick Lofton all kind of on one team together. That's a lot of talent. But this team has a lot of underrated players and a lot of people who are salty and want to just go grind it bats away. And so you're going to see a little different team than you have in the past. We may not have as many home runs, but we're going to have a lot of hit by pitches, a lot of walks, really good defense. So it'll be fun to see.
Let me ask you, too, on the backside of that. I know that the talent's a lot of it, but maybe even more so is the way that a team plays together. We talked with, again, like I said, Taylor Ellis of the softball team, and she said, look, we might not go out and be a top 10 team with a top 5 recruiting class, but we're chippy. We play hard together, and we have great chemistry. Does it feel like this team already has that to give them another edge?
Yeah, 100%. We got quite a few JUCO guys, too, and JUCO guys bring a different aspect that we've never had before. They bring grit. They bring just a different style of ball, and it's so refreshing to see. So, yeah, I would agree with that. I would say that we do have top 10 talent, though, which is really nice. We'll see. It's great to say we're going to be good. We're not getting a whole lot of hype. We're not getting a whole lot of nothing. So that's totally fine by us. We'd rather be the underdog and go out and prove how good we actually are.
When you see that the Big 12 says, Baylor's going to finish middle of the pack, back of the pack in conference, the NCAA or your D1 baseball doesn't rank Baylor as a team, is that just fuel to say, all right, we'll be the underdog and show up and surprise?
Yeah, sure. You can look at it as fuel. I think we all look at it as we know how good we are, and we just have to play. We just want to get on the field. February 19th can't come quick enough. We got a lot of guys who want to just get out there and get after it. Pitching, defense, got a lot of guys who can run, a lot of headsy baseball players. So,
well, you're only a couple of weeks away, Andy, and you're right there on your maybe your last season. Who knows who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe another one. Maybe you got another one in you. But when you look at this slate, especially, I'm looking right here at the Round Rock Classic, and that is just loaded. You guys are going to face great talent across the year. The Big 12's deep this season. Even West Virginia's top 15. Who knows? Kansas State could be sneaky and make a run late. Does it feel like this conference is really going to test you, and really the non-conference slate too?
Yeah, no, the Big 12 is always one of the premier baseball conferences in the country, and this year you're seeing it with the rankings and whatnot. Now preseason rankings are a little different than midseason rankings, so we'll have to see. We got a lot of teams that are ranked high. We have a couple bigger name guys, and we're in that top 15 as well. But right now, we're totally fine being ranked 8 out of 9. That's fine. Let them talk, and we'll get out there and play as hard as we can.
I love it. Find me a brick wall. Come on, Andy Thomas. Find me a wall at catcher. So let me end it with this. Your expectation for this team and where this team is right now. I ask every player that we have on this because it applies to every spring sport, and that is right now, if you had to put your money on it, could this Baylor baseball team be the first to win a national championship in the green and gold?
Man, gambling's illegal in the NCAA, so I'll just say that we're really good, and we're going to go to Omaha this year. How about that?
I love it. Hey, look, I will follow you to Omaha. I'll follow you down a dark alley. You tell me where to go, and I'm headed there, Andy Thomas of the Baylor baseball program. All right, Andy, before we get out of here, I got some Bear Games questions for you today. And I know Zach asked me, Zach Rhodes, the SID, for those that are listening, he was like, all right, so what stupid things are you going to ask the player today? He didn't say it like that, but I could tell the tone was like, I know you ask my players some weird stuff. What is today's? And I'll start with this. Because, Andy, you strike me as a guy, just like the rest of us, we all did it growing up, that played the NCAA football games on PlayStation or Xbox. What is your today is the greatest of days. You got to be excited.
Yeah, that's very good if true.
What's next? Do you feel like at this point, now that NCAA football is coming back, that NCAA baseball needs to make a resurgence?
Yeah, it has to. It has to have an all-grandpa team, too, for fifth years.
I love it. And, we had this question, too. Armstrong and I were debating. Are you a dynasty mode guy in NCAA, or are you more of a road to glory?
No, I'm actually a mascot matchup guy. I like to have the mascots, the orange, playing the trees a lot. So
you're one of those guys? You're a mascot matchup guy?
100%. Yeah, me and my brother used to try and run up the score Oregon versus whoever, honestly.
Are you the A button guy? There's the one button game or the coach. I think those are the worst kind of people that only play as the coach where you can only call plays.
No. I like a spread offense with Oregon. You give me the 2013 game, I'll run it.
RG3 on the cover of it. Give me like the Texas Tech offense is a cheat code. I know I'm going down a little rabbit hole here, but just airing it out with Cliff Kingsbury's early offense. How about this too? Men's basketball game tonight. What's your final score prediction in that one between Baylor and Texas?
I think we're going to run it up. I think we're going to, let's say, 92-81.
92-81. High-scoring game in the Irwin Center tonight. Who's the leading scorer for Baylor?
I think Davion Mitchell is going to be our leading scorer tonight.
I like that. Davion had 31 a couple nights ago. He's played well. Chip on his shoulder right now, it seems like, especially after the Auburn game. And then the last question for you here. When I go grocery shopping, I always get Bang, Topo Chico, Lunchables, and LaCroix. Like, those are the four things that no holds back. Like, I'm getting those, period.
Right.
What is your go-to at the grocery store that you will never leave the grocery store without X things?
Always got to have fruit and always got to have fresh pizza.
What?
Yeah, look it up. HEB, fresh pepperoni pizza, $5. Pretty good.
It's not DiGiorno.
No, it's definitely not.
It's not delivery. It's freschetta. That is free publicity for the HEB pizza right here from Andy Thomas.
That's right.
They got to sign you to a deal.
They should.
I love it. Andy Thomas from the Baylor baseball team, all Big 12 preseason catcher of the year, really. I mean, you're first team all Big 12 this season at catcher, so we might as well just say sky's the limit, Andy. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. All right. Again, that was Andy Thomas of the Baylor baseball program. How about it? Joining up tempo. I love having players on, man. They just got that extra juice, especially these spring guys that got a lot coming up. So here's what we got later on in the show. We're going to do some more SicEm Pick'em action where we get a little bit more in depth with the SicEm Pick'em. We're going to talk about Baylor men's and women's basketball. Women's basketball coming up tomorrow night. How about tonight? It is Baylor and UT breaking that down. Grayson Grundafer is in studio with us today. He's going to come on here at 12:30 and talk a little recruiting action. Whoop, whoop. Everybody loves recruiting. And, we got a whole slate. We're going to do celebrity birthdays, and we already did Dead or Alive. We'll do a little This Day in Sports History coming up later on in the show. This is Up Tempo. Tee it up at McLean Stadium this winter as Topgolf Live takes over Waco. Topgolf Live brings the Topgolf experience to iconic stadiums around the country. It'll be held at McLean Stadium February 25th through February 28th. Join us for a once-in-a-lifetime experience as you take golf swings from the concourse at McLean Stadium. In addition to offering friendly competition, Topgolf Live transforms this iconic venue to create a truly unique event. Create memories with your friends, family, or coworkers this March when you choose the Topgolf Live Stadium Tour for your private parties. Special safety protocols will be implemented throughout the event to ensure Topgolf Live offers a healthy and safe environment to players. Topgolf Live tickets are on sale now at www.topgolflive.com. Again, www.topgolflive.com. Book your tee times today as tickets are limited for this once-in-a-lifetime in-stadium golf experience. Premium packages are available as well. For more information on premium packages or to purchase your tickets today, visit www.topgolflive.com or call 214-501-1320.
At Baylor University, students can shine in their own way. Or should we say their own ways? Because there's no limit to the ways Baylor students make the world a brighter place. Whether they're leading a student organization or following a higher calling, getting advice from faculty, or taking part in world-class research, pursuing their dreams, or working toward their dream job, students find their place to shine at Baylor, where lights shine bright.
Riverbend Liquor and Wine has their easy-to-access drive-thru open and convenient and clean in-store location on the corner of Lakeshore Drive and North 19th Street in Waco. Riverbend Liquor has the best and most extensive variety of craft beer selections in Waco, and Balcones whiskey, including single malt, pot still, baby blue, rye, brimstone, and the all-new lineage in stock. Riverbend Liquor and Wine, family-owned and operated, and a hidden gem in Waco on Lakeshore Drive at 19th Street. And find out more on Facebook and Instagram.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Engel at the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like instant issue debit cards free at all of our banking centers, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Waco Custom Marketplace is your home for holiday favorites for parties and the time with family. Various specials available in-store and online. A variety of steak gift boxes with 4 ribeyes for $70, 4 bacon wrap fillets for $55, or 4 New York strips for $50, and all come with steak butter. Fall snack box for watching a game or wrapping presents or hosting people at your house, including summer sausage, split horn, and jalapeno cheese and salted crackers for only $35. 2 pieces of lobster tails with herb butter and 2 bacon wrap fillets for $60. Order online or call in advance to ensure availability, or drop by Waco Custom Marketplace at 425 Lake Air Drive. Waco Custom Marketplace has a full-service butcher shop for customized orders or cuts of your favorite steaks or beef tenderloin or specially ordered prime rib roast. Plus, what you want with pork, poultry, seafood, and more. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or wacocustommarketplace.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio. Here's Drake Toll.
Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I am Drake Toll. That's Grayson Grundafer. We got Armstrong Sims and Cole with us today. How about it? We just found out off the air, inside information. You guys can only get this here. Grayson is an ATO alumni.
Sure am.
I am a current Baylor ATO.
Mind-blowing.
What?
It all comes together, man.
Brothers. Unbelievable. Roo-rah Rega, baby, for those that are watching that are ATO stands. Grayson, so Grayson, typically you would be a guest on the show. And today, it just doesn't feel right to call you a guest. Today, you are the co-host for the next hour, and I am blessed and honored to be able to say that.
I'm a co-host on Up Tempo?
It gave me chills a little bit right there.
I'm ready.
Do you feel more up-tempo now?
Oh, I do. It's
like a jolt. It's a jolt to your day. How about in the China Spring Cougar Blue you got going on?
A little bit, yeah. I know you and JD rep the Cougars a little.
We rep the Cougar Blue. A little Brian Bell action. So we're going to have him on. We have already talked. I'm going to break this on the air right now. Breaking news. Grayson Grudaver's here for it. We are going to do, because the FCS is playing in the spring this year. Mm-hmm. We're all going to pick one FCS team that we follow religiously. That we like, okay, this is my squad this year. They're going to win the Natty. They're going the whole way. And we're just going to break them down every day on the show or every week on the show. We're like, hey, Stephen F. Austin's my team. They got a big matchup against Lamar this weekend. Here's the breakdown. And then FCS schools, they love pub. And we love giving FCS schools pub. So hey, we'll have the head coach on and have him just hey, break down this week's game, stuff like that.
Y'all got to get Colby Carthel on from SFA.
Yeah.
And it's basically transfer you for Baylor players. So definitely he's a must get, but if we're going to go down that route, I'm just going to go ahead and call North Dakota State. If that's fine.
It's got to be semi-local.
I agree.
Because James Madison would be an easy one to go up and be let's snag. But I already like Nathan Brown at Central Arkansas because it's a cheat code. My parents are alumni of the prestigious Central Arkansas University.
How close is that to Valonia?
So I grew up with a Conway address, and UCA is in Conway. So I was about 7 minutes from my high school in Valonia, and then, which oddly enough, living in Waco, 7 minutes to a place means that it's maybe a half a mile away because of traffic. Yeah. But there it was 10 miles away. Oh yeah, I can get there in 7 minutes. Where UCA was 20 minutes away. So that's probably my team that I'm going with. But we're gonna do some stuff like that. I don't know who Armstrong's gonna pick. It may be a little peculiar. JD same way, but we'll cover those teams and go through those. But I was going somewhere with that. Lost it. Absolutely gone. I don't know where I was going with the with the teams. But we're gonna.
It was fun. It sounds fun. I'm here for it.
I mean, we should. I think it'd be cool to do on the site too. We're like, hey, here's your break. Like, bring Colt and the afternoon guys in on it all.
Make a little graphic. Make it nice. Yeah.
Colt does graphics. But yeah. So today, basically, what we'll do to start is break down some information on recruiting and updates on recruiting. And no better to fill us in than you, since you cover recruiting for SicEm365.com. What are the newest kind of happenings and murmurings around recruiting at Baylor and Baylor football?
Yeah, so let's start with, I guess the first place to start is everyone's going to ask what's going to happen with signing day. That's tomorrow. That starts tomorrow. First Wednesday of every February is the second signing day. Used to be the only signing day until the early one is now kind of stolen the show, and this year it's no different. For Baylor, the early signing day is the signing day. Yeah. I don't think they're going to sign anyone tomorrow, which is kind of a shocker. You know, a lot of people expect there's at least one or two, but I don't think there is this year, and a big reason for that is the transfer portal. Baylor's really trying to hit the transfer portal hard. They're trying to find grad transfers specifically. The reason for that is because they want guys who can come in, supplement the roster, but maybe not take up more than 1 year because, of course, with the kind of overhaul of rosters coming at the end of the 2021 season, you have to make sure that you're clearing room for players while you develop the younger guys. So that's kind of the situation they're in. They're definitely looking at the offensive line. And then also the big part that is also factoring into this is that the JUCO football season isn't starting till the spring. So they haven't gotten to see film on guys. So they're going to have to figure out a way to watch film, figure out if guys are worth an offer, figure out if they're worth giving a couple years, and then kind of go from there with the JUCOs. But again, the priority is going to be the transfer portal, and I don't believe they're going to sign any more 2021 freshmen in this class.
Is that because of the new coaching staff that they're really targeting transfers now, since those guys are coming in and haven't, like Jeff Grimes hasn't had a footing on Baylor recruiting for the last 2 years. Obviously, Sean Bell, Juice Johnson, those guys have. But with the new staff coming in, does it feel like, all right, new staff, let's bring in some new guys from the transfer portal?
See, I actually think it's more because of COVID year.
Really?
Because the transfer portal is massive this season because guys are able to transfer wherever they want and not have to sit out a year. That's just so rare. And so for that to be happening right now, that's a huge reason why you have to do that. So I think that it's more because of that than it is necessarily the current staff. And so I think that's kind of the route that they're taking. I will say, though, even if a previous staff was here, if Rule and staff were here, or even if Fedor and Wickline were still around, I still think they'd be attacking the transfer portal very hard.
How about what we got right here, PWOs? From PWO standpoint, I don't know, and maybe this is just my memory failing me, but I don't know if I can remember a year where I've seen so many tweets, Baylor PWO offer, just over and over and over coming up on my feed, which oddly enough, Twitter's like the recruiting hub of just football. Is it an odd number of PWOs that have been given out this year, or is this pretty standard?
Well, first of all, Twitter is where I live. You can find me 7 days a week. 24 hours. I'm always on Twitter. My wife hates it, but I'm always on Twitter, just trying to figure out things with recruiting and talking to recruits. And so if you leave me a DM, I will definitely see it in my personal box. That doesn't mean go and do it. But I'm glad you talked about the PWO offers, because this is something that I've never seen at Baylor, to be perfectly honest with you. Even with Rule and staff, and Rule, of course, was a walk-on when he played football, so you would think that they would hit it even more. But this is next level stuff. And I think the big reason because of it is COVID.
Yeah.
And so you're seeing guys who maybe could end up at a Texas State or a UTSA in a normal year, but they didn't get to go test at camps and get to see coaches at their schools. That stuff is so important. You know, if a coach is going to invest a scholarship in you, they usually want to meet you first and want to see you and talk to you and figure out what kind of guy you are, especially if it's the separating factor between you and another person. And that's where things have been. I mean, for Baylor to land a guy like Josh Cameron, who they landed today out of Cedar Park, fantastic player. For them to land C.J. Rogers, who was the 4A player of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane. That stuff does not happen very often. So they're doing a great job in that regard. And I think you're seeing other schools do it as well. So I don't think Baylor is the only one benefiting from it, but Baylor's done a great job with that. And that's a big thing for a lot of this staff. And I know David Wetzel was the big guy behind the walk-on program when Rule was here. And I believe he's playing another influential role with this group.
Tell me, too, with this Josh Cameron commitment, the preferred walk-on, you tweeted this, had 2,200 yards and 27 touchdowns in 2 seasons. This is a loaded class from a receiver standpoint. I mean, you got Kyron Drones highlighting the quarterback spot, and then what is it, four receivers are coming in signing class? 5 receivers, so this will be number 6.
Yep.
Is that typical, or is this receiver room just going to be a little too full now?
Well, so it's 4 freshmen, right? And then Drew Estrada, who's the grad transfer. So he'll only be at Baylor for 1 year. So I guess he doesn't play too much of a factor into it, but they had to hit the wide receiver group extremely hard because if you look at the roster, first of all, they lost Yusuf Terry in the offseason. He transferred out. He was expected to play a huge role for this team in the future. But you look at the rest of the group, they have a bunch of juniors. You know, they have Jalen Ellis, they have Seth Jones. But if you look at that group, you're going to notice one common theme, and it is a lot of, no offense to these guys, shorter guys. Yeah. Not a lot of big guys on the outside. I think the only guys that are 6'1" and taller are probably RJ Sneed, who will be gone after this year, Jared Atkinson, who will be gone after this year, and then Tyquan Thornton, who could be gone after this year. Yeah. So they really had to figure that out. And if you look at the recruiting class, it speaks to it. I mean, all those guys are pretty much over 6'1", maybe aside from, I guess there's only one that's shorter than that. Actually, Monterey Baldwin. He's the only one under 6'1". The rest are above it. So they're trying to find outside receivers who can make plays on the outside and be vertical threats and red zone targets.
Tell you what, call us 254-339-1122 or text us your questions for Grayson Grundafer, our SicEm365 resident recruiting expert. You ever been called that? That had a good little ring to it. Yeah. That had a good little ring to it. Let's write that down.
It flowed perfectly, too.
It works. So we got a call on the Impact Health Labs caller line. Steven from Virginia, you're on with SicEm365 Radio's Up-Tempo.
Hey, guys. You got me?
Oh, yeah. We can hear you loud and clear, Steven.
First, Grayson, before all this happened with SicEm365, what led me to become a premium subscriber was the Trust the Podcast with you and Craig. I became so into wanting to send y'all a question every week. So I really enjoy your content. And I have a couple questions. The first one is the Baylor-Texas game tonight. Considering that if Texas loses, they will have 3 losses and Baylor will have none. Is this the de facto regular season Big 12 championship game right here?
Okay, so first of all, Steven, thanks so much for that. You have no idea how much that means to Craig and I that we were a huge part in you becoming a subscriber. So I'm sorry we changed the name of it because now it's the Bearcast. So hopefully you like it just as much, but it's going to be really, really cool what we have coming out. I guess coming on after this show is actually when it will be playing. So be on the lookout for that. But again, really thank you for that comment. Now, as far as the game goes, I think for Texas, this is it, in my opinion. If Texas loses this game, I think it's a done deal. I don't see Baylor losing 3 games in conference. This is it for them. For Baylor, it's not. Baylor can lose this game and still easily win the Big 12. They still get to play Texas at home. So I think it's very one-sided, and there's a chance that the two teams play like that, though. Yeah. And that is something to fear if you are a Baylor fan, that one team comes out a little bit hungrier than the other. But we'll see. I think Baylor's the better team overall, though.
Steven, I think Baylor is due at some point for an off night where they slip, and I wouldn't be upset with that. And I'll tell you why. I don't know if any team can go undefeated in college basketball for what would be like 37, 36 games this season. I don't know if that's possible. So if Baylor drops 1, maybe 2 Big 12 games, they're still going to win the conference, and I wouldn't be that upset to see it. It's just that's kind of how basketball goes. But for UT, I don't see Texas going undefeated. They would have to go effectively undefeated in my book the rest of the way, beating Baylor twice to win the Big 12 championship, and I don't think that's happening. I don't think, even if they do beat Baylor twice, I still think Texas slips up to a Texas Tech or a Kansas or an Oklahoma again. And so give me I like Baylor tonight a lot, but say Baylor ends up slipping up, I'm not that torn up about it.
Yeah, and the other thing is I want to emphasize the importance of this game is that if they win this game, they still could slip up 2 times.
Yeah.
And everybody is 3 games back. My last 2 questions are really quick. The first one is, Yusef Terry seems to be kind of out in the cold. Is he going to be able to land anywhere, or would he be able to come back, or it doesn't seem like many people are biting on him? And the second one is, Grayson, you're a little closer in age to me. I know you were a student when Bryce Petty and RG3 were here. When you were a student, knowing what you know about Baylor and, all that you've gone through, did you ever think something like SicEm365 and a McLean Stadium and a prominent national presence in multiple programs and sports was really a possible thing at Baylor? And then I'll let y'all go.
Okay, so I guess we'll start with the first one. What was the first question?
So Yusef Terry.
Yeah. Okay. So Yusef Terry is not coming back to Baylor. That's just not going to happen. Feel for the kid, because I think when you look at the transfer portal right now, it's very loaded, and unfortunately, this was going to happen. I mean, it's a transfer year. A lot of guys are going to kind of get left out in the cold a little bit. And honestly, I think when you leave a Power 5 program, a lot of guys feel like they're going to stay at the same level that they were at. And I think that might be what's happening. Yusef thinks he's going to stay at the same level, Power 5 level. Maybe that's not realistic. Maybe he has to drop down to a Group of 5 or maybe even FCS. So, but I do not expect him to get a shot at Baylor again. I think that ship has kind of sailed a little bit. Now, as far as the other question, so I was at Baylor. My first year was 2012, the Nick Florence year where he broke every single passing record at Baylor, and Baylor wasn't very good for half the season, and then they were arguably a top 10 team the second half of the season. So really cool to see that trend. That carried into 2013, and then, of course, got McLean Stadium in 2014. So I saw the progress for sure on the football side. I thought it was all going well. I thought 2015 was kind of the culmination of that. They were so dang good, and they didn't have a quarterback for half the year. So I saw it in that regard for the football program. I saw them taking that step in McLean Stadium and all that. So that never really shocked me. The other programs, it's really cool to see them kind of take that next step. I think we're seeing some of the golden years, honestly, for the Baylor programs. So that's really fun to see, and it's really – Mac Rhodes has done a tremendous job, and I didn't have Mac as the AD when I was at school, and he's been fantastic. I think he's taken the program as a whole to another level, and I think that's helped things. Now, as far as SicEm365 goes, my dad was a big Orange Bloods guy, which is rivals for Texas. It's probably it's got to be top 3 biggest just fan sites in the country. So I knew about kind of that stuff a little bit from that end. One of my best friends, he was on Texags a lot, so I saw that end as well with A&M's F5 site. Actually, they're the same site as we are. But, I didn't know that I expected it for Baylor, and I didn't know that I expected the kind of following and traction that we've gotten from this site. It's really cool to see anytime we have a tailgate or anytime we have events, to see how many people show up and support SicEm365 is just one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And to be able to go there and be a part of it, and people talking to me and just talking about Baylor and talking about these type of things that Steven's talking about, that is unimaginable.
Yeah.
That is super cool, and I couldn't have thought that was going to happen in my wildest dreams after I graduated from Texas and they took a shot on me as an intern, 2.5 years ago?
Yeah.
So really, really cool to see how much it's grown.
Here we go. I think I tweeted out a couple of weeks ago where I had sent Colt a message when the studio was built and was like, hey, if you need anybody to sweep the floors, I will do it. And sweeping the floors has now become sitting at a desk with dead flowers.
Yeah.
So
I wish we could have tried to do this at the Container and just seen how difficult it would have been, because it would have been
how things have developed, how things have changed in the last even just year.
Did you see my first interview ever, or have you heard about it or anything?
No.
It's usually a running joke.
No.
So there's a hotel about a mile down.
I don't like where this is starting.
A mile down on 35, and there were some recruits that came on a visit. And this is an epic story. It's told pretty much every time anyone kind of a weird recruiting note pops up. They tell me, Bobby Wolf and Eric Young. So 2 4-star guys, they came on a visit, and I went to the hotel, and Matt McBrayer was there filming this outside a hotel. Worst lighting of all time.
Yeah.
We're outside the lobby. I mean, it was just a mess. And they told me, we're going to take our time in our recruitment.
Yeah.
We want to take our time, and we liked Baylor, and Baylor's in the running, but we're going to wait a little bit. The next day, Bobby Wolf commits to Texas A&M. So great start to my run at SicEm365, but it's been fun stuff, that's for sure.
Nice. So you were doing a little side recruiting for A&M at your first.
Who would have thought, right?
Wow. Welcome to the game, man. Tell me too, and kind of moving back into current recruiting with the 2022 class. So obviously we know pretty much. I think you said it. There shouldn't be any surprises coming tomorrow. Correct?
Should not be.
Be
that I know of. There should not be.
Nothing locked and loaded in the chamber, to your knowledge. Then with the 2022 class, are there any early surprises? Or I say early, it's getting around 2022 time where we can start talking the thick of things with recruiting. Anything that stands out to you yet?
Yeah, it's 100%. I guess there's a couple things, but the offensive line and defensive line recruiting and forethought is the biggest kind of differentiating factor between the last two staffs. I'm seeing this staff really attack that group hard, 2022 and 2023. So they're trying to get an early start to the 2023 class as well. But I'm loving what they're doing for the 2022 class. I mean, we're talking offers in Michigan, Colorado, Utah, a couple scattered out-of-state offers to go along with the core. Which is in the state of Texas. So if they can land a guy or two from out of state that fits the mold, which for me, based on what I've seen from Jeff Grimes, the mold is 6'6 plus 265-pound tackle that they can mold into the kind of tackle that they want that specific player to be. And they've put out multiple offers to guys with those kind of frames. And then, of course, they're looking for big guys at guard, and they're looking for guys who are going to stand out athletically and be able to move some people. So that's the biggest area, those two positions up front. And then one more spot to just kind of keep an eye on is the quarterback spot. Baylor has not put out an offer since offering Connor Weigman, the superstar quarterback out of Bridgeland. So it's pretty much Weigman, Cade Klubnik, and I guess you could say Quinn Ewers, but Baylor's not getting Quinn Ewers from South Lake Carroll. But Cade Klubnik, Connor Weigman, those are the two to focus on right now. And I'm just curious when they're going to put out another quarterback offer, because it feels like it's been some time now since they've done that. But there's a possibility that C.J. Rogers takes that quarterback scholarship spot if he progresses really well this year.
Does Baylor in 2022 need to go after a quarterback? I know there are coaches that have the philosophy to take at least one in every class, but is there even I know need is a strong word too. Do you need one?
I think need probably not, but if there's an opportunity to get Klubnik or Weigman, yes, because those two guys they're different. Yeah. They're just different type of players. I mean, they're guys that say these guys don't work out this year at the quarterback spot, or you just don't think that they're going to be the guy for the future. I mean, to land one of those guys, I mean, they could come in and compete right away. I mean, Klubnik's a 6A state champion 2 years in a row. Weigman took Bridgeland from nothing to something this year. So very special players that I think they would take, but if not them, it drops off, man. I mean, the quarterback recruiting right now in the state of Texas, outside of those guys, there's a pretty steep drop-off. So I'm curious where they go if they feel like they're out on those two guys at any point.
How about it? Anything with 2023? Do we have any new updates on what exactly that class is going to look like? I know we're really talking future with that, but I've seen some tweets out there where it's like, okay, we're getting started a little bit early.
Yeah, they are. They definitely are. And I think if you look through it, they're off to a great start with that class, I would say, as far as just getting offers out. I mean, if you look at the defensive line, that's probably the area that they've really hit the hardest in 2023. They've put out offers to all the top guys in the state on the defensive line. So they're definitely going to look there for that class. And linebacker, they obviously offered probably the best linebacker in the state, and I'm really excited to see him progress. But Christian Brathwaite out of Cy Ranch, they're building a little Cy Ranch pipeline sneakily. Romario Noel is kind of a big part of that. They've put out some other offers as well to Cy Ranch, but Brathwaite's a guy to watch. I think there's a chance he could end up being a 5-star when it's all said and done, which I usually don't say about recruits because it's so hard to project them. But his speed, his size, I mean, he's got a real opportunity. And, I mean, he might not even end up at linebacker. If he grows 2 more inches, he might be putting his hand in the dirt and playing some defensive end.
Early outlook 2021, 22, and 23. Where do these classes sit as far as across the scope of the last decade maybe for Baylor? Does it feel like these are some of the stronger classes Baylor has had, or are they sitting probably par?
So I guess talent-wise in the state for 2022, I think this class is ridiculous, to be honest. The depth on the offensive line is the one that sticks out the most. And truthfully, if you can recruit quarterback, offensive line, and defensive line, you're going to be in great shape. Matt Rule proved that when he was here. I think Dave Aranda is going to prove that as well. If you can recruit those positions really, really well, you really set yourself apart because, I mean, you can walk – 25 miles in the state of Texas, and you'll come across a 4-star wide receiver pretty much. So it's those 3 positions that you have to lock down. I think this staff's doing a great job of figuring that out, and 2022 and 2023 are deep with that. So I mentioned this before, but I think 2022 has a chance to be Baylor's best ever recruiting class. I stand by that. I think they're going to have a good 2021 season, and that's going to lead to some momentum for 2022. And I think the recruiting staff they have together, the offensive staff, the defensive staff, I think it all could come together to where this could potentially be a top 20 class, which Baylor has never had, at least signed.
Yeah, is that kind of the outlook right now for them to be a top 20, top 25 class and maybe on the upper end of the Big 12 as far as 2022?
Expectation is top 25. That's 100% the expectation. If you're a top 25 class in the Big 12, that puts you probably just behind Texas and Oklahoma, but ahead of everyone else.
And who gets credit for that? When you think about the coaching staff right now, is there one specific guy that stands out that you say, man, this dude is working on these recruits?
Yeah, Dave Aranda.
Wow.
And I know that's doesn't seem like the favorite answer, but truthfully, every time I talk to a recruit pretty much who gets an offer, it seems like every time it's either Dave Aranda called with the offer or was on the phone for the offer along with other coaches, or I'm having a call with Dave Aranda in the next couple days. That was not common under Matt Rule. That just wasn't. It wasn't what they did. It was a different mindset as far as how they went about recruiting. And so Dave Aranda gets, in my opinion, the majority of the credit, and he also put together the recruiting staff to go out and recruit these guys, which is also a credit to him. Obviously, there's other guys that contribute significantly. James Blanchard, Brian Nance. Those are great guys. Vince Genta. I mean, very, very good guys to have. But at the end of the day, if you have a head coach that stands behind these offers and is calling these players, that's a bigger deal than any, relationship on the staff, in my opinion.
Tell me, too, and maybe this is a loaded question, but with Sean Bell moving over to the quarterback coach, how does that affect not just this current team, but the recruiting class and the guys coming in, and Kyron Drones being included?
Yeah, so in the quarterback room, you have to remember Gary Bohannon and Jacob Zeno both know Sean Bell really, really well. I know specifically he played a big role in Jacob Zeno's recruitment, actually. I mean, he went on his in-home visit. Sean Bell was there, at his home. So they know each other really, really well, those two specifically. Blake Shapen knows Sean Bell just from, last season, this little period in there and from recruiting. But, I think Sean knows these guys well enough to where he's going to have a good grasp on what they can do. And then as far as the new guys that come in, he's just going to be learning and developing them and seeing what he has. I mean, he's been very open. This is going to be an open competition. He's going to let these guys go out there and sling it around, and whoever's the top guy is going to be the starting quarterback for Baylor in 2021. And whether that's the oldest guy, Gary Bohannon, or the youngest guy, potentially Kyron Drones, it's going to be open, and we're going to see what happens. But it's going to be a fun storyline to watch as spring camp approaches.
Yeah, would you say there's probably no separation so far?
Well, I told you last week I don't think there is, and I think that's the only fair answer to say right now is that there is no separation because the coaches haven't even seen these guys play. Now, I've said in the past, and people that follow the board and ask for my opinions and who care about my opinions, I do think Jacob Zeno is going to be the quarterback, but that does not mean that I believe he has an edge with Jeff Grimes or anything like that. It's just kind of what I've seen so far. I think he has the edge, in my opinion, but I'm going to wait and see things play out because spring could totally change things. I mean, if Blake Shapen comes out there and is slinging the ball around and throwing, 4 touchdowns against the defense every day, well, then he's going to be the starting quarterback. So it's going to be an interesting thing to watch.
Everybody has their doubters in this quarterback room without it. I mean, for sure. There are guys that you think, okay, if so-and-so is named the starter, he's going to have the fair share of people saying, oh, well, that's not right. It shouldn't be him. It should be another guy. Is there one quarterback that you feel like everybody could rally around and be most confident in? And is it default Kyron Drones just because he's new?
That's interesting. Wow. So you're basically asking like a fan favorite?
Kind of. I didn't want to put it like that, but a little bit.
I get you. Okay. I truthfully think whoever comes out of this camp and wins the job is going to, by default, be the fan favorite. And the reason why I say that is because I think over the last year, you saw Charlie Brewer play, and I think everyone thought, man, why wouldn't they just throw someone out there just to see, whether it's Zeno or Bohannon, just to see what they could do, and they didn't do that. So I think everyone pretty much knows this camp, whoever wins the job, went out and won the job. It was just the better quarterback, and so I think everyone will rally behind that, and I think everyone will be happy with whoever does win the job because Gary and Jacob, they've paid their dues. And then on the flip side, Blake Shapen and Kyron Drones may just be the most talented. And that's just how it works.
Grayson, we'll finish it up here with these last 2 questions from the Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line. This from Scotty B, the Baylor King. What are some names that'd be good for Baylor in the transfer portal for offensive line and defensive line that they should still go after?
Yeah, so I mentioned Justice O. I don't want to butcher his last name, but he's a guy out of UNLV. He's a grad transfer, and he's a very, very intriguing prospect, has great size. I think he's listed 6'3", 327, so he'd be a guard, which they need. They need a guard. They need a big guy in the middle, and he's kind of the top guy, I think, on the board right now as far as what I'm looking at for the offensive line. As far as defensive line goes, I wouldn't say that they have a priority guy right now. They just have not seemed thrilled with anyone that's entered the portal on the defensive line, or at least someone that they've pursued heavily. So right now, I'm just going to stick with him for the moment. They lost out on TJ Storment, who decided to go from TCU to Tech. I know they were kind of involved recruiting him and had some conversations with him, but he's going to go to Tech. So that kind of messed that part up a little bit. But yeah, just Justice O right now. I think it's Oluwason or something along those lines. But he's a very talented player.
I like O. I think O will suffice. And then this one from Jack Wheeler, who also says, I'm making a petition to include offensive line, kicker, and punter in Road to Glory. No more questions at this time. That's pretty good. And then he says, Grayson, what are your thoughts on the leaked video of Saban's recruiting pitch?
Oh, I haven't even seen it.
Oh, have you not? Is that somewhere in the doldrums of, I would love to get your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think someone posted on the board, and truthfully, I just haven't had time to, and I meant to click on it the other day.
Feel not embarrassed because I too have not seen it. I will go ahead and live in because I have not. Same thing. Everybody's like, yeah, you got to watch this. It's so good, and I have yet to see it. But I feel like it's got to be good. If Nick Saban giving a recruiting pitch, is that somewhere in the something, Armstrong? I'm sorry, I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
It is.
Sweet. Yeah, we can get that up in a second. But I think that kind of segues into what I want to ask before we even watch this. Yeah, that was close. That was Bryce Drew shot. It was on.
That was not it.
But I want to ask you, what does Baylor have to do from a recruiting standpoint to become a powerhouse like an Alabama or a Clemson in the recruiting world? What do they have to build?
There's nothing they can build to be Alabama.
Ever?
There's the only way you turn into Alabama is if you do what Clemson did. And that is so hard to do. Think about how many teams in college football have gone from mediocre program to, wow, this is a powerhouse. That's exactly what Clemson did. They had good years, but they were never this ever in their entire history. So Baylor would have to get to that point. And I think in order to do that, you need a couple things. You need Dave Aranda to stay at Baylor for a long time.
Yep.
You need him to be a core piece and be just a part of this for a really long time. You also need him to be a really, really good coach. I mean, you need him to prove that on the field, which time will tell on that. You know, we need to see this next season. Secondly, you need to build a great recruiting staff that can go out and find guys early, recruit them hard, and once you win enough games, you're able to flip the script a little bit when you start winning Big 12 championships and things like that. So if you can do that consistently for 10-plus years, then you got a chance.
All right, we got the Nick Saban video here. Let's check this out, Armstrong. Thanks, man.
Anybody in the history of college football in the last 12 years. Won more championships. We won 6 championships in the last 11 years. We've been in the national championship game 8 out of the last 11 years. We've been in the playoffs 9 out of the last 11 years. We got more guys drafted than any school in the country. We had 64 guys playing in the league last year. The next school had 41. So we got way more players playing in the league than anybody else. So, and you know, everybody's going to tell you in recruiting, you know, oh, don't go to Alabama. You can play at our school before you can play there. They got all these good players there. You won't be able to play. You can play at our place earlier. I think that's the worst stuff that people can tell you. First of all, when they tell you that, they're first of all insulting you. All right? Because I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you if you couldn't play here. All right. Number 2, when they say you can play at our place before you can play at Alabama, they're just telling you Alabama's better than them. Yeah. That's number 2. All right. Then number 3, all right, is if you ask our players on our team, they'll tell you just the opposite. They'll tell you the competition may be better. Mm-hmm. You know, Marlon Humphrey will say, he played corner, first corner taken in the draft when he was a junior. Say, I had to cover Maury Cooper every day. Maury Cooper was the first receiver taken in the draft. Right. Cam Robinson played left tackle here, won the Alpha Trophy. Jonathan Allen played for the Redskins. He was the right end. He won the Nagurski. They practiced against each other every day for 3 years. All those guys will tell you that made me better. Right. The competition made me better. The guy I practiced against was better than the guy I played in the game against. So don't listen to that. Is what I'm trying to tell you. Now this ain't for everybody. Everybody can't play for the Yankees, man. I mean, you know, you gotta want to be good. You gotta want to play with the best. You want to be the best. All right, so.
Okay, who is this recruit? First of all, and second of all, he's going to Alabama.
I mean, how could you possibly leak that?
Yeah, and what would be the purpose of? I mean, obviously, you probably got a lot of views and stuff, but that's a weird thing to leak. But man, oh man. It made me want to go to Alabama.
That's the thing, is I think seriously. Leaking on one side of that, leaking it's like, that's not good. You can't do that. On the other hand, it's like, but also, now the recruiting pitch is out there for everybody.
Yeah.
Well, because if I'm a player and I'm like leaning one way or the other, I'm like, wow.
But how do you even combat that, though? Like, even if you know that it's coming. Yeah,
exactly.
There's nothing you can possibly say.
Nothing you can recruit against in that.
Yeah. The numbers. It's objective.
Right. That's an amazing video.
Yeah, he's saying, he's like, hey, my backup guys are better than their starting guys. So you're going to be a backup guy in practice that is competing, and then your junior, senior year, you're going to play, you're going to win the outline.
Yeah, and that's all history, man. That's just the fact that they've been there year after year and have just talent out the wazoo. I mean, that's really cool. And I mean, we knew what he was probably saying. Like that doesn't surprise me what he said, but man, he's an alpha in the coaching industry. It is so it's crazy to see what he's built. And if I was him, I would never leave Alabama. That dude is going to just keep winning championships like every other year.
Oh, yeah, he's the alpha, without a doubt. All right, Grayson, before we get you out of here on the talking recruiting today on Baylor, I got to ask you our Bear Games questions of the day.
Let's do it.
First being the NCAA game coming back. We're gonna backtrack to that. NCAA back again. You a dynasty mode guy? Road to glory? What's your go-to?
I'm 1,000% an online dynasty guy.
Oh,
with my
online
friends.
Dynasty.
Y'all have never seen that?
Oh yeah, I've absolutely seen online dynasty.
Can you still do that? Does that still exist on 14?
Well, yeah. I mean, it I guess I don't know if you can still do it. I don't know if it's still connected.
Yeah, Jack is saying he can.
Yeah, so that is my favorite format. That is so fun. You play with your friends. You just out-recruit your friends. You make them take 3 stars. You take all the 5 stars, and then you just play them every year, and they're in different conferences. Very fun.
I hope they don't screw up the gameplay. I hate the Madden gameplay. That's my one thing that I'm so leery of. It's both EA, but the games played so different.
They did.
NCAA played so much better than Madden.
Oh, it did. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And now I feel like it's just going to be Madden, but in college jerseys.
Absolutely.
And
that's my fear.
That's my ultimate fear, is that it will not. It's going to be $80 guaranteed.
Yeah.
At least $80. Wow. I remember saving up all my summer money and going and buying it for like $50, $60 in 2011, 2012. How times have changed.
Well, maybe
boys.
the NCAA 14 prices will now drop because I don't actually own a copy, and I'm not going to buy one because they're $300.
I bought one for $125. Talk to guy off the ledge.
I still have one.
Yeah. Wow, you can sell that
Just
thing.
sitting at home.
Sell it now. It's
if you're
a
not
stock.
using it.
If you're not using it. How about tonight? Final score prediction, men's basketball.
Yeah, I think Baylor gets the job done. I'm gonna take the Bears. I think it might be a little low scoring though. I'm going to have it 62-58.
Feels like Baylor plays better. So Baylor doesn't cover?
They don't.
Wow. I feel like
it's going to be tight.
Baylor plays better defense on the road. That seems like they're really harboring their inner defense. I love the Baylor overs at home. I like the Baylor unders on the road typically. I haven't seen today's over. Okay. It is 144.5. Ooh. I probably got to go under on that.
Yeah, I'm going under on that for sure.
I think the Big 12 gets into this trend in the middle of the season where it's, okay, everyone's been running and gunning so long, and now teams start to slow down and really pace themselves and just try to play good defense. I think that's kind of what we're getting across the conference. You saw it in Oklahoma, Texas Tech, and I think that's what will probably happen on the road in the Irwin Center. I think I like the under at 144.5. I don't know if I'm confident enough to say, hey, hammer the under. But I think that might be the best way to go.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a very motivated Texas team early that might hit Baylor in the mouth a little bit to start the game. And I think they're just going to play really hard defensively. And, I mean, this could be one of those, like, 22-21 scores at halftime, and it would not surprise me.
Oh, man, remember Baylor held UT to like 45 or 47 last year in the Irwin Center? Oh, it's like they're stupid. It was the lowest home total in almost 100 years or something insane. We'll talk about the rest of the games across the country in a SicEm Pick'em coming up later on the show. How about leading scorer tonight? Who's your leading scorer?
You know what? I'm going to keep riding it because I just have a feeling that he's finally hitting his stride even more so than he has. I'm going to go with Adam Flagler.
Adam Flagler.
A little sneaky. He was it last game, I believe, so I think he'll do it again.
I like that. I like the Flagler pick. And then last question here. You're going to the grocery store. What are you getting at the grocery store every time you go?
Every single time I go. You know, there's one consistent that I just love, Fit Aids. You ever had a Fit Aid?
What?
A Fit Aid?
A Fit Aid.
What is that even? Is that food
like
or
fit,
like
fit,
a
F-I-T-Aid.
Is that like a Band-Aid?
No, it's a drink. It's a drink, and it's really
got the plus
good.
Sign. It's got the plus sign.
Yeah, it's really good, and it just tastes good. I drink it during the day, and
so you never leave the grocery store without a Fit Aid?
Never.
Is there anything else that you never leave the grocery store without?
Ooh, that's a boring one, but because not. I would say oatmeal, but that's every week, not every time I go.
I get oatmeal pretty frequently at the grocery store. Cereal and oatmeal.
Yeah, it's either that or like a muscle milk or something. Yeah, just as a snack.
Or real milk. Armstrong over there? Armstrong drinks real milk religiously.
Yep.
It's good
stuff. I go through like 2 gallons of whole milk per week.
Wow. Whole?
Whole.
Oh, my
That's what
gosh.
I said.
Only whole.
That's what I said.
That's tough to...
2% gang up. Let's go. 2%.
Go.
All right,
Same.
I am Drake Toll. Grayson Grundaver just joined us for we did some recruiting review. We talked about everything right there. That was awesome. Armstrong Sims, Cole's here, Andrew, and Jack. When we come back, we are talking with a UT beat writer about tonight's ball game in Austin between Baylor and Texas. This is Up Tempo. Tee it up at McLean Stadium this winter as Top Golf Live takes over Waco. Top Golf Live brings the Top Golf experience to iconic stadiums across the country and will be held at McLean Stadium February 25th through February 28th. Create memories with your friends, family, or coworkers this March when you choose the Top Golf Live Stadium Tour for your private parties and corporate or group events. To purchase your tickets today, visit www.topgolf.com. www.topgolflive.com, www.topgolflive.com. Premium packages are available as well. Once again, to purchase your tickets today, please visit www.topgolflive.com.
Brady throws, end zone. He's got Evans for the touchdown.
Super Bowl 55 in Tampa, Florida, and SicEm365 Radio will be live at NFL Media Headquarters in Radio Row, Wednesday through Friday from 3 until 6. Hi, this is David Smoak. Join Paul Catalina and me for daily news and notes on the Buccaneers and Chiefs, interviews with players, coaches, and personalities.
The presenting sponsor of Super Bowl 55 coverage from Tampa, Florida on SicEm365 Radio is Marco's Pizza, pizza for pizza lovers, with locations in Woodway, China Spring, and Belmead.
Here's Mahomes. Look at underhanded. He throws it for the touchdown. How about that throw?
A little underhand.
Also brought to you by IdealMRI.com, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, Waco Custom Marketplace, Boozer's Jewelers, Stonewood Dental, Richard Carr Buick GMC Cadillac.
Here's the fake toss. Able to get away and find Hill at the 35-30. Hill inside the 20.
Edward Jones Financial Advisors, Petty Clinic Low T, Pioneer Steel and Pipe, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat, and Impact Health Labs.
Brady goes for the deep shot. He's got a touchdown! Scotty Miller!
With your Buccaneers and Chiefs in Super Bowl 55 in Tampa, and we're live Wednesday through Friday, 3 until 6 from NFL Media Headquarters on SicEm365 Radio.
With your Ram truck from Allen Samuels, you may not have to plow through snow and mud or pull heavy loads, but you could. During the Big Finish year-end event, you get a Ram deal like no other. Employee pricing for all, 0% for 84, and no payments for 90 days. Ram 1500 Lone Star for Christmas. No other truck comes close. And ask about Big Finish pricing on Ram Heavy Duty and Ram ProMaster for your business. Happy holidays from Allen Samuels.
How did Edward Jones become one of the biggest financial service companies in the world? By not acting that way. Financial strategies, one-on-one advice, it's a big difference. And that's why Brad Wilson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, makes sense of investing. Experience the difference for yourself. Brad Wilson, 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, 254-776-4337. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of healthcare while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. Sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance and there are no hidden costs, even offering financing if that's needed. Everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Waco Waco Custom Marketplace is your home for holiday favorites for parties and the time with family. Various specials available in-store and online. A variety of steak gift boxes with 4 ribeyes for $70, 4 bacon wrap fillets for $55, or 4 New York strips for $50, and all come with steak butter. Fall snack box for watching a game or wrapping presents or hosting people at your house, including summer sausage, split horn, and jalapeno cheese and salted crackers for only $35. 2 pieces of lobster tails with herb butter and 2 bacon wrap fillets for $60. Order online or call in advance to ensure availability, or drop by Waco Custom Marketplace at 425 Lake Air Drive. Waco Custom Marketplace has a full-service butcher shop for customized orders or cuts of your favorite steaks or beef tenderloin or specially ordered prime rib roast. Plus, what you want with pork, poultry, seafood, and more. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or WacoCustomMarketplace.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Welcome back at Up Tempo. It's Tuesday, Super Tuesday to be exact, and today it's a top 10 matchup in the Irwin Center. Texas and Baylor squaring off tonight, and we're now joined by Joe Cook of Inside Texas. Joe, welcome on to the show. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Glad to talk about a pretty nice matchup we're going to have tonight.
Absolutely. You know, Fran Fraschilla says it all the time. No nights off in the Big 12, and tonight is part of that. It is maybe the biggest matchup, in my opinion it is, the biggest matchup in the Big 12 so far this season, and I'm not sure if it's getting enough hype. I felt like this game would hold a lot more in the national spotlight, but it seems like maybe Texas hiatus due to COVID has really thrown the program for a bit of a loop. Does it seem like that's the case right now?
It sounded like that yesterday. I wrote an article for InsideTexas.com, and we finally had Shaka Smart back in a virtual media session after his positive COVID test, and he sounded frustrated. So I'm sure that he is glad to be back. He, at the very end of his availability, I asked him, was it, just in general, hey, was it good to be back with your guys? It had been almost 3 weeks since he had been able to run a full practice with everybody there on the team. So I bet that there's some level of frustration, but there's also got to be, if Texas intends to keep it close with Baylor tonight, there's got to be some clarity and be able to move past some of that frustration as well.
This Texas team last time out on January 26th. So it's been a week since they played. They lost to Oklahoma 80-79 in the Irwin Center. It's their 3rd straight home game. But that OU game was coming off of 10 days without gameplay, not a lot of practice time, no Shaka Smart. Do you think Texas is better equipped tonight than they were for the OU game?
Oh, without a doubt. They missed Jericho Sims, a guy who gets starter minutes. They missed Courtney Ramey, a starting guard, and they missed Brock Cunningham, who is a key contributor, a guy who, to use a very professional term, a guy who lasts 5 years at a school and you hate all 5 years that he's there. So this is going to be should be pending negative COVID tests for Texas. This should be a full strength team, and absolutely Texas is going to need their best tonight in order to match up with Baylor.
Joe, you say full strength, and from a warm body standpoint, it sounds like you'll see most of Texas stars dress out and play tonight, but does it feel like they are truly at full strength from maybe a stamina standpoint coming off of COVID?
So I understand the rust argument. I really do. But Matt Coleman, the guy who is basically the straw that stirs the drink for Texas basketball right now, he was a guy that normally gets 35, 36. He'd get 40 minutes a game sometime. And I remember one time I asked I asked Shaka Smart, do you ever want to try and limit his minutes a little bit just to get him rest? And he said, my best players play. So I'm more on the side of that this rest may have helped them. And also, this is a deep team because of all the COVID contract tracings and isolations. We saw different rotations than we ever really would have anticipated. I'm sure it's like that for every college basketball team, but a lot of guys have gotten a lot of minutes. There was one game when Kamaka Hepa, a forward from top of the world, Barrow, Alaska, he started, and this was a guy who was thinking about redshirting and maybe got 5 minutes a game, drops 15 points. So at this point, the big issue or the big key coming into this season was, what's a trimmed down rotation going to look like whenever it's time to trim down the rotation. At this point, and off these circumstances, they may not have that capability, but that may be something that they can work through because, remember, this is a team that returned everybody from last year and added 5-star forward Greg Brown as well. So I understand the rust argument and the layoff argument. It's a strong one. I just tend to see it the other way, that a little bit of rest and, being able to go have your practices, still work out, and go full bore against a team like Baylor may be helpful.
We have spoken about Baylor on the show here, and if you compare, what's better, depth or the starting lineup? Baylor obviously is better from a bench standpoint than they are from a starting standpoint in our eyes, whereas a team like Gonzaga has the best starting 5 in the country, but the depth is where they'll struggle against a team like Baylor. Does it feel like Texas has an advantage at depth, or is the advantage with the starters?
That's a really tough question. I'm just looking over the Baylor stats right now, and when you've got 4 guys averaging double figures and 2 guys right behind them at 8 points, it's kind of Baylor basically has both right now. I would put Texas starting 5 up there with just about anybody in the country right now. I think that Matt Coleman, senior point guard, luxury. Courtney Ramey is growing. Andrew Jones overcoming leukemia, being a great story, and then not only that, being a really good basketball player. Add in Greg Brown. Jericho Sims has struggled this year, and so he's been extremely hit or miss with a lot more miss. His game is somewhat limited, just kind of a very typical back-to-the-basket big man, but without typical back-to-the-basket big man size. He's only about 6'8", about 240, and he plays the 5, and he's got to go up against guys. I don't know how much the real tall guys play for Baylor, but I know that I'm not going to get this name right. I'll let Fran Fraschilla pronounce it, but I just know that size is something that size has been a small issue for Texas. So I would put Texas starting 5 up there pretty strongly, but I don't know if they have the depth that Baylor does right now.
Jonathan Tchamwa-Tchatchoua.
Tchamwa-Tchatchoua. There we go. Just like it's spelled.
Oh, yeah, exactly like it's spelled, with just more consonants. He's, without a doubt, with Tchamwa-Tchatchoua, I think it's consensus that he's better than Flo Thamba. But having Flo Thamba in the starting lineup and then bringing Tchamwa-Tchatchoua off the bench has worked so well for Baylor from the very start. I think if it would have been an issue, they'd flip those guys without having a problem. But I think Baylor, for sure, that's where the depth start is Tchamwa-Tchatchoua off the bench. But like you said, 4 guys in double digits, 2 guys right behind them. It's a deadly lineup top to bottom. And where does that play into tonight for a UT team that has a great starting 5? I mean, these are 2 awesome teams. If they're both playing at full strength, you're going to see an absolute battle. Is there a difference in this game to you that sets either squad apart from a depth standpoint?
As far as depth, I think that Baylor may have a little bit better guard depth, because once you get past that top 3 of Texas and those guys that start, there's a little bit of uncertainty. You've got Donovan Williams, who plays as a guard but is about 6'7" and does a lot of different things. Brock Cunningham, more forward-like, doesn't really dribble the ball that much. And then Jace Febris, who is thought to be a sort of pseudo 3-point sharpshooter, is coming off a microfracture surgery from last year. So I think that Texas forwards are about as energetic and as they make up a good unit, and especially when you have an energy guy like Royce Ham, who can come in and literally get about 5 fouls in 5 minutes if you need him to. But once you get past those starting guards, that's where you see some of the issues. But at the same time, they have a versatile player like Greg Brown, who may not be, a world-class dribbler, but he is still long, athletic, and can drive and get to the hoop. And it's funny, going back real quick to one thing, it's funny that you mentioned Gonzaga, because Shaka Smart yesterday, he called Baylor and Gonzaga. He said it's a shame that both of those teams didn't get to play each other, because Baylor and Gonzaga, in his mind, are head and shoulders above the rest of the country right now.
Wow. We heard that same thing from Bill Self earlier in the year, back when Baylor beat Kansas at the Farrell Center. That comment has lost a lot of luster since, with Kansas's struggles. But for a Texas team playing in the Irwin Center tonight, limited capacity, obviously, as it is across the country. So the atmosphere really has kind of been taken out of games, especially big arena games. I mean, the Irwin Center is a class facility, The Farrell Center feels like my 5A high school gym that like you just pack in a bunch of people, and if there's 12 people there screaming, it's just loud. But kind of with the crowd taken out of it, and Texas having 3 losses on the year, all 3 of which coming at home, is there any home court advantage down I-35?
It's funny you mentioned that, because here are the 3 losses. One was to Villanova in front of a limited amount of fans, and then the last 2 were to Texas Tech and to Oklahoma, not in front of fans, that went down to the very last. All those games went down to the wire.
Yeah.
So before all this, there had been no fans, and they were playing piped-in noise, and it was pretty annoying to probably listen to live and on TV. There will be fans. Shaka Smart said that, that's a big deal for them. They want that support this year. They have needed it, and there's no better time than when the number 2, arguably a number 1 team in the country, is coming to your house. So, and I see it a little bit differently. I've been to the Farrell Center one time. It was during when Jared Allen was playing on that really not great Texas team, and it was really amped up. That was the student sections right there. I don't see a lot of Big 12 basketball facilities. Had to make the drive, but the Irwin Center is not typically known for its raucous atmosphere. Granted, in real life, normal life, if the number 2 team in the country were coming and number 6 Texas were playing, it'd be packed to the rafters. I think they'll have as many people as the city of Austin will legally allow them to have in there.
I will say, the Farrell Center is an older facility. And for me, it's got the high school feel in the fact that if there's you can have a handful of people and it's going to be loud. It's going to be loud just because the way it's built. But Baylor is upgrading their facility in the next 2 years to a new field house to house their basketball program, which will be nice to have. Where the Irwin Center from a facility standpoint is outstanding. I don't know. Here I am on my soapbox about great stadiums in the Big 12. But with the Texas squad tonight being at home in Austin, full strength back, and then you see where the line comes out at Baylor 5.5. What do you make of that? Is that something that you think Texas is being slighted, or is that probably where it should be?
Well, people love to bet on Texas. I don't know why, but we always, over at Inside Texas, kind of give those lines a little bit of side eye, because we know it should be maybe 1 or maybe even 1.5 different, because people just like to bet on Texas. It's a name, but no team has played Baylor to a single-digit loss. It's really tempting, and this isn't to say that I think it's going to be a runaway Baylor win, but I still think that they can win the Bears can win a close game and have that double-digit streak continue. And it won't be because Texas, was run out of the gym or anything like that. It's just going to speak to how good this Baylor team is this year with Butler, Teague, and Mitchell.
Yeah, and what you've seen with those 3 guys, we love getting outside input, because I can sit here on this show all day with a bunch of Baylor stuff and a Unicat corn right here and say that Baylor's the best team in the country, but what does that mean? I'm supposed to, the talking heads in Waco are supposed to say that, but when a talking head in Austin says, yeah, no, Baylor might be the best team out there, it just means something different. And do you fall into that category? Do you believe that Baylor may be the best team in the country?
I really think so. Like I said, it should be 1A and 1B with Gonzaga, and that says a lot about what Mark Few has done. And kind of looking, maybe not the Baylor team doesn't have as much of that international representation, but there's a lot of national representation on Baylor. So Scott Drew has put together a heck of a roster, and then like I mentioned, those 3 guys, Butler, Teague, and Mitchell. It's luxury having upperclassmen guards like that. The one and dones are great. Greg Brown is great. Like, I think Baylor fans will enjoy watching him because of not only his willingness to rebound, but also drive and do everything. I think, there's a little bit of Tracy McGrady to his game, and I know that's a high standard to set, but that's kind of who he reminds me about. He's still a freshman. He still makes some freshman mistakes. He still has Coach Smart come over and say, hey, you're going to grow up. You're going to get something better, but you made a mistake there. I doubt Scott Drew has to do that with Butler, Teague, and Mitchell very often, and that's just how that speaks not only to their development under him, but his coaching as well.
I love it. All right, here we go. Joe, when you look at tonight's matchup, you break it all down, you've crunched the numbers, as have we here. How do you see things going down from start to finish in the Irwin Center?
So for Shaka Smart teams, 65 to 70 is always a magic number. He seems to do well when he scores more than 70, lower than 70, kind of, who knows? If he holds opposing teams below 65, normally does well. If not, results are mixed. I don't know. The other thing is, the last time Texas played, it was an absolute ref show. 29 fouls. Oklahoma was in the bonus before the first TV timeout of the second half. It was painful. Yeah. It was, and for Fran, who I love to death, love listening to him call the games, finally found something to disagree with him on, because I didn't think the officials controlled the game at all. So I'm really curious to see how this game is officiated early on. I think if they let things go, you're going to see both these teams try and run up and down the court. And I don't know how much that plays into Texas' advantage, just because Baylor can do it so well too, it seems like. So if I kind of going back to what I said earlier, I can kind of see this game ending up like, Baylor in the high 70s and then Texas in the high 60s. Not to say that it was a bad effort from Texas, but Baylor's just a cut above right now.
Hitting the over, and Baylor covers. I love it. Slam the over, and Baylor covers is that's probably what I got in my book tonight. Just Baylor. I say that if I'm looking at this game from a Baylor perspective, Joe, and I know I'm not on your radio show, so I'm not giving any feedback to fans that are watching from a UT standpoint. But tonight, for me, Baylor does a really good job of defending on the road. They're going to try to make it a defensive ball game. Defense travels, shooting doesn't always. So I see Baylor trying to really go grit from a defensive standpoint. Look at the game last year in Austin. Was it 47 points for UT? So I see Baylor definitely digging down defensively. I think I do like the under in this one, although I'm a hammer the over guy just at heart. Right. But I think 5.5, Baylor's probably got a 6 or 7 point victory in them somewhere. But that said, man, I don't know. I feel like Baylor has to slip up at some point. Maybe not here, but I see Texas definitely giving them a run for their money and it being close down the stretch. Even if Baylor pulls it off by 7 or 8, UT being within 3 with 2 minutes to go would be no shock to me. No shaka. Ha 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 ha.
And that's the other thing. Scott Drew he kind of dominates Shaka Smart right now. And I'm sure that plays well in any recruit's living room that they're both chasing. Obviously, it plays well on national TV. There's a good reason for it, and I'm sure that's a big motivation too for the Baylor program. Because although they're Goliath right now, it's still playing Texas. And I know this sounds a little pompous, but teams like beating Texas, even if it's seen as a cut above at this current juncture.
You heard it here first. Scott Drew is Shaka Smart's father. I like the analysis, Joe.
Didn't go that far, but he's got a good record against them.
Paraphrasing. How about this? Before we let you go, we got Bear games we play on this show every day. Just weird, quirky questions to ask our guests at the end of the show. You already kind of gave your basketball prediction, so I'm not going to ask you to delve into that anymore. I don't usually like asking analysts to give their score predictions just because it seems so like fan thing to do, even though I do it every day on the show. But tell me, the NCAA football video game is coming back. And I know, Joe, you played it. You've played it plenty of times before. I can tell.
I was looking for it. It's somewhere over on my desk, and it's in my Xbox right here. So.
See, the guy, Joe knows. There it is. Joe knows. NCAA coming back. Are you a dynasty mode guy, or are you more of a road to glory?
I do both. I like dynasty, though. Recruiting is the tough part, so I try to simulate through that. But you got to
find a pipeline state. It takes time. It's meticulous. You got to sit them down, find what they like, find a pipeline. California is always bringing them in.
I typically try to run a dynasty with Texas, so I think we've got a good pipeline anyway right there.
That's a good point. It's I'm sure it's so tough to recruit with Texas and NCAA 14 with all of the 6-star prestige that they have. Man, this is so happy.
Funny tidbit. The last time I did a dynasty, they do all the coaching switches and stuff like that. Gary Patterson got fired at TCU and was named Baylor's defensive coordinator.
No way. That's so good. I would hate that. Just treacherous. That would just be awful from a Baylor standpoint to have to root for Gary Patterson. Gosh.
I would love to see it happen just for I don't know. It'll never happen.
Joe, what world have you created? This is like the worst Sims simulation that I've seen.
hopefully they get those problems out of the next issue before they make the game again.
And let me ask you this, our final Bear Games question of the day. When you go grocery shopping, when I go grocery shopping, I will never leave the grocery store without Bang, Topo Chico, LaCroix, and Lunchables. Those 4, and pistachios, 5 on my list. I will never leave the grocery store without, no matter what. What are your H-E-B run groceries that you guys have? H-E-B? There's H-E-B down there. Yeah. What's your grocery run that you can't leave without?
Louisiana hot sauce, Hidden Valley Ranch dressing.
Every time you go to the grocery store?
Well, I mean, it's not an every time thing, but I use a good amount on every time I'm making. It's kind of a staple ingredient, both of those for me. And then I love Earl Campbell's brand sausage. The famous quote was, "Football was just a hobby. Sausage is my life." And the hot links are phenomenal. I would highly recommend them.
I need that on a Walmart UT t-shirt. That's what I need, is a Walmart UT t-shirt that says, "Football's a hobby, sausage is my life." Oh, never mind. Joe Cook from Texas, it's Inside Texas, joining us today.
InsideTexas.com. Yes,
That's
sir.
right. InsideTexas.com, covering all things Longhorns for you. Football, basketball, baseball. You're a do-it-all guy. Thanks for joining the show today and talking with us. I can't wait to have you on again when these guys trot down to Waco, and then some baseball action too. What do you say?
Absolutely. I need to get up to the ballpark up there. It's one I have not seen yet. I've gotten Texas, TCU out of the way. Gotten Omaha out of the way, so need to make it to Waco.
On the Brazos. Feed the beaver right on the river. You'll love it. You'll love it. Thanks again, Joe, for joining the show today. Pleasure to have you.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Now, coming up, what we got right here, Scott Drew spoke to media yesterday about the game coming up against UT tonight. Armstrong, do we have those clips? Let's rock and roll. Here is Scott Drew on the Texas ball game.
Hey, Davion. What do you see from Texas, just kind of the whole team in general?
They're a really good team. They got a lot of players coming back. They're similar like Auburn, but just older, athletic, long. They love playing with each other. You can tell they've been playing really well. I think it's going to be a little bit difficult for them just because some of the people coming back from COVID. So they got to get that team chemistry back. But it's going to be a good game.
You guys have a lot of veteran guards. They have a lot of veteran guards. Is that a pretty good challenge for you guys?
Yeah, for sure. We know the scouting report. They know our scouting report. It's just the team that gets the most easiest shots is going to come out with the win. And then the team that just plays the better defense is going to win.
Hey, Davion, there's been a lot of discussion, obviously, going into the game about you playing Auburn. Now that you actually played them, what was it kind of like to have played a school you previously played at?
I feel like throughout the game, I was more calm than anything, more calm than any game that I ever played. I didn't take it as like a revenge or I'm playing my old school, so I got to try to do this, do that. It was just like a regular game to me, just a new conference, new players, new faces. It was a really young team, and I think they're going to be good in the long run.
And with the Texas game, given you already had a scout, I'm sure you all went through in December before the game got canceled. Has that felt a little weird to feel like, hey, we already kind of know this stuff, or what's kind of the process when you didn't get a chance to play that first time?
Yeah, for sure. We already knew the scout just from even last year. They got the same players last year. Just they play well, a lot better together. We know that they're really athletic. We know that they can guard just like we can. So, yeah.
All right, thanks, Davion.
Yeah, Davion, heading into such a big marquee matchup, there's going to be a lot of eyes on this game from across the country. Do you notice a difference in the practice energy or the focus among the team leading into these types of matchups?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I feel like we're locked in just like any other team. I think that's what makes us really good. We don't look out the team. We just lock in every day. Like, we go one-on-one every day in the film room or even in the practice. We have the same energy as any other team.
And at this point in the season, I know with COVID, you're probably used to the arenas being half filled. Farrell Center was pretty loud on Saturday, but does that make it easier to hit the road for a top 5 matchup?
I wouldn't say easier. We know without fans, it's going to be, I would say a little bit easier though, because without fans, they don't have that momentum. But
they're going to have 25%. We just got word they are going to have a small amount of fans.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I didn't know we was going to have fans, so I thought it wasn't. But, yeah, it's definitely a lot easier, especially because we're a top team. So if it was like regular fans, the place will be filled up with Texas fans. So it will be a lot easier for that matchup.
David, I was going to ask you a little bit about Jericho Sims and what you have seen from him this year versus the last couple of years. He looks much more polished around the basket.
Oh, for sure. I think one thing he got better at is moving his feet, guarding guards. Watching film, he really prided himself during the summer by becoming a better defensive player on the perimeter. He's already athletic, so he probably already can block shots, but one thing I know is that he can really move his feet, just like our bigs. So he's going to be a tough matchup.
Scott, what do you see from this Texas team?
A lot of similarities to our team from the standpoint, two top 10 defenses in the country, two teams that are really good on the glass, two teams that are really good in transition, very talented players and experienced players. So I think you look across the country and teams that have more experienced players and depth usually have been more successful this year, and hence why Texas and us are off to such great starts.
What do you feel like Greg Brown has added to this team?
Well, first, a lot of athleticism. He has a chance to be one of the best rebounders to ever play at Texas if he keeps rebounding at the percentages that he's rebounding per minute played. And it's really hard to keep him off the glass. At the same time, he's knocking down shots and he's creating off the bounce. A very versatile defender. There's a reason he's projected so high on the draft. A lot of things you can't teach.
And how have you seen Jericho Sims develop since last year?
Well, every time we play him, he's really good. So there's not a lot of development. Meaning you're like, dang. And I heard the other day watching one of their games, Coach Self called him the most athletic player in the conference. And I don't know if he's the most athletic, but if there's someone equal with him, probably that's it. So he's somebody very, very talented, very hard to keep off the glass. His dunks are usually on Sports Center. So he's somebody that defensively has really improved and gotten better as well. And that's why they've been able to switch more this year.
Hey, Scott, other than Greg Brown, your guys have played a lot of Texas's players in the past. Has that made the scouting and walkthrough easier? Or has that made it a little bit more challenging to tell the guys, hey, you don't quite know everything about certain tendencies?
Well, I think it definitely makes it easier because at the end of the day, people improve, but usually the things that they do at the highest level, you're used to by now, meaning some guys prefer to drive right, some guys prefer to drive left, some guys at first steps a little quicker than it might look on film, but if you've gone against them for 2 or 3 years, you know that. So, and for the guys that are shooters, when they've scored 15 on you or 20, it's a little easier to convince them that they're great shooters. So I think big thing for us is their players have gotten better, like our players have gotten better, and that's why both of our programs are doing so well.
And Scott, you all obviously rank top 5. Some days you're number 1, some days you're number 3 on KenPom and defensive efficiency. Defensive rebounding, though, sometimes gets mentioned. Is that something that you all just might rank a little bit lower because you turn people over? Or do you think that's an area the team could still improve a lot?
Definitely, that's an area and a point of emphasis that you try to get better at and focus on. And teams like Auburn, Texas, without those long athletic guys, it's a premium. You do a good job blocking them out, because if not, you're getting tip dunked on. So we got to do a good job, especially when we're playing more guards and blocking out. At the same time, I think watching film, there's sometimes where again, you play percentages where rebounds come off a lot, and sometimes you might be doing your job and you just get a bad bounce. And I thought Auburn's second half we did a better job blocking out, but first half I thought we did a better job than I thought during the game. And credit Auburn for getting some tough rebounds and some rebounds that we did a decent job blocking them out.
Coach, you often chalk up your wins, a lot of these second half wins, to the experience of your team. But as you mentioned, Texas has a lot of that big game experience. What do you see as what's going to be the difference maker for whichever team comes out on top on Tuesday?
Usually when you have rivalry games and you have highly competitive games, coaches really love it when it comes down to free throw shooting and things that we have no control over. So hopefully we're making our free throws, and hopefully we do a good job controlling what we control, and that means executing our offense and defensive game plans. And if they make tough contested shots, we got to live with that. At the same time, what we can't live with is our own mistakes or things that we can mess up on. So trying to play air free as possible, and at the same time making sure that we're playing aggressive and continue to do the things that have brought us success. You don't ever want to get away from the things that have made you good. So you'll tweak things, but you're not making big changes before games like this for sure.
Scott, I wanted to ask you, because I asked Davion about what you've seen from Jericho Sims this year that's maybe different than last year, because I think he looks more polished, especially around the basket.
Well, I think every year you improve in some fashion, and again, defensively, I think he's I've seen more improvement there than anywhere else. But offensively, I mean, he's always. I mean, I remember down there last year against him. I mean, he seems to play well against us, and there's whenever we're clipping his game films, more times than not, he's doing things that you're definitely eye popping and grab the attention of our guys. Makes it easier to tell someone how good someone is when they see it firsthand.
And then one of the things about your defense this year is, again, more than half of your opponent's turnovers have been generated by your team's steals. Has that been something you guys have preached, even, as good as this team has been defensively? Is that something you guys have just been preaching throughout the course of these last couple of years, or how has that been, or is that just a product of that?
Yeah, I think it's a product of it, because every coach wants deflections. They want live ball turnovers, very similar to football. Everybody wants to create fumbles and create turnovers, but it really goes back to starting with the ball pressure that our guys are able to put on. And when you have three defenders on the all Naismith watch list, they're able to force the offense into positions and predicaments they're uncomfortable or not used to being in. And when that happens, that's how you get live ball turnovers.
All right,
and then our guys doing a better job reading the other team's passes and how they're playing out of our pressure.
All right, welcome back at Up Tempo in the Bears Den. I am Drake Toll. We got a live studio audience today. How about it? Matt in D.C. is on the Impact Health Labs call line. Matt, what's going on, man? Talking the UT game tonight.
I ain't going to be that much to talk about after we hang 100 on tonight.
That's true. I'm excited about it.
What do you think?
I think UT Mike will eat crow tonight, and I will be eating Texas Roadhouse, thanks to UT Mike making a deal that he'd give me a Roadhouse gift card if Baylor swept.
Well, hopefully his mom makes him some meatloaf and bring him down in the basement after the game tonight to maybe cheer him up after we blow him out. But no, honestly, I don't think we'll blow him out. I think it'll be a close game as it always is. Hopefully we win by 6 points or more, since I got my FanDuel going now, and I got a couple some free money from him to bet on tonight. So we'll go from there. But I think, hey, we're just going to have to make free throws, get the rebounds, do all the things we got to do. I ain't worried about the fans, because it's empty. It's usually empty in there anyway, even when they have a top 10 team. So
True.
Not worried about them. They'll be up in the rafters in that dump of a stadium they got.
True. So what's your score prediction tonight?
I think 85-77.
I like that. Over, and Baylor covers. I don't know if it'll be that high scoring, but most people are predicting Baylor in the 80s. I don't think Texas scores 77, but maybe. You want to play some more Bear games, Matt, in D.C.?
Absolutely.
Beautiful. All right. NCAA football games. You ever play those?
Man, y'all brought back some good memories. I got to be honest with you. I started playing that back on the old PlayStation 2. And I mainly played on the 2004 game. I remember maybe the 03-04, but Carson Palmer was on the cover. And I have memories of just playing that in the Marine Barracks, trying to take a D-rated, C-rated Baylor team, win 5 games the first season in dynasty mode, and end up, eventually going to win a national championship. But one memory I have, I'll never forget, I built the ultimate running back to recruit. And in my second or third season, I recruited him all year. And at the last week of recruiting, I spent all my points trying to get this guy that I built personally for my offense. And he ended up going to Miami or somewhere. I'll never forget that. Still pisses me off to this day.
The AI video game guy. Wow. All right. Are you? So you're a Dynasty mode guy?
Oh, yeah. So I played the 04 a lot, then I played a little bit of the Xbox in 09, and then I do have the RG313. I just don't play it as much.
I love it. And then when you go to the grocery store, what do you have to get?
Let me think. So we don't have the HEB. We do got the Walmart, but we mainly shop at Harris Teeter up where I live. Always got to get a couple jugs of almond milk. I used to be a normal milk guy, but then I was convinced to go over to almond milk, so I've been hammering that a lot. Tortillas, some type of salmon from the seafood section in the back. And then I like the steamed vegetable bag. You just throw them in the microwave. You're good to go.
You heard it here first. Hammer the almond milk per Matt and DC. Thanks for your call, Matt and DC. Always a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you.
All right, bring it on, man. How about this? Let's go ahead and go into our SicEm Pick'em today because we're running out of time. Sorry, Armstrong. I'm kind of throwing for a loop there. Please don't hate me. He's giving me a thumbs up. He doesn't hate me. Thank you, Armstrong. Let's go with, we got Andrew Robertson in studio. Andrew, ready to rock and roll here on the SicEm Pick'em. Here's what I like tonight, folks, in tonight's slate. UNC minus 2.5. I like UNC minus 2.5 as my first pick that I'm going to make for the day. Andrew, what have you seen out of that one? And would you agree in North Carolina tonight against Clemson on the road?
Well, Clemson's cold. They've lost 4 out of their last 5, so not playing great basketball. And North Carolina's hot. They've won 3 of their last 3, 4 of their last 5. They're winning by a solid margin. I think 2.5 is too small. I think UNC's a good pick.
Purdue money line tonight. Purdue has won 4 out of the last 5. Maryland's lost 2 out of their last 3, including at home against Wisconsin. They lost a game on the road against Michigan as well. Purdue on the road has beaten Ohio State and Indiana. I like Purdue tonight. Again, they've won 4 out of 5. Purdue is a money line pick against Maryland on the road.
I'm surprised Purdue's not actually getting points here. I think you can take a money line, probably get really good odds, and I think Purdue's going to win this game. If I can't believe Maryland's getting points here. It doesn't make sense to me at all.
Maryland 3-7 in conference play. Purdue 7-4. I like Purdue a lot in this one. That's a money line where you're going to make a lot because it is Purdue positive, Purdue's plus. Then EKU, Eastern Kentucky University. Here's one that I'm kind of picking out of the mid-majors tonight that I like a lot. EKU, they are 2-point favorites, which I don't really understand. I'm not sure. Again, I think it's a mid-major game that maybe Vegas, quote-unquote, overlooks. But Eastern Kentucky tonight, I've got them -2. What do you see in that one against Jacksonville State?
And that is you like to go for these huge games, and then we get into the high school teams. It's tough.
Oh, I said EKU -2. It's EKU +2. Wow, that's even better.
They're getting points. They're 13-2. JSU's 10-6. I can't say I've watched a ton of Eastern Kentucky basketball, but
what?
You're a huge Eastern Kentucky fan, hey?
Think about it. Eastern Kentucky, they've won at least 5 straight. Their last win was by 40 points, 113-73 against UT Martin. Yeah. Jacksonville State lost their last game at home by 19 points. I like EKU tonight.
They're gaining points, you said?
Yeah, they're gaining points.
Yeah. All right, slam. 13-2.
Nevada, -4.5 against ULV tonight at home. I don't like it as a lock, but I like it a little bit. Nevada has lost 2 out of the last 3. But, folks, they just played UNLV on January 31st, and they won 89-60. And now they are only 4.5-point favorites against UNLV again. And this time, they are at home again.
That seems odd to me. They keep doing this where I keep seeing teams play each other twice within like a week or less than that. And Nevada is playing much better basketball. They're 11-7. UNLV is 6-8. What's the spread on this game?
It is Nevada -4.5.
They can cover 4.5. I like that pick.
100%. Baylor -5.5 against UT in Austin. My pick today. I like to hammer the under on this one, but I'm not so confident in it to pick it. I'm not going to take the under. If I had to, I would. But I like Baylor -5.5. They are a cover machine at anything 8 and under. Give me Baylor 5.5.
You have to slam Baylor here. They've won every game by 8 points or more. Texas is coming off of a COVID scare. You don't know how their team's really going to play. 5.5, I don't think that's enough respect for Baylor. I slam Baylor here. If I had to hit the line, I think 144 is a little high. But I think, life's too short to bet the under, so I'll probably take the over.
Give me Tennessee -3.5 on the road. Tennessee is coming off of 2 victories. Slow one against Mississippi State, and then a huge win by 19 on top of Kansas. Tennessee may be getting their stride back. They're number 11 in the country right now. Ole Miss is 3-6 in conference play compared to Tennessee's 5-3 in conference play. And Ole Miss is just 2-3 in their last 5 games against UGA, Arkansas, A&M, Mississippi State, and Georgia. Again, those are not very good basketball teams. Ole Miss reeling right now. They lose it at home by more than 3.5 against Tennessee.
I've been able to watch a little bit of Tennessee basketball, and their defense is elite. I don't think Ole Miss is going to be able to score the ball. I would maybe even – the line is only 124, so they're giving a little bit of respect there to Tennessee. I think Tennessee definitely covers this game. Even if it is at Ole Miss, doesn't matter. Tennessee's a much better team.
Folks, you're going to like the BYU-San Diego game tonight, and I'm going to tell you, stay away from it. San Diego, they beat Portland. They lost to LMU by 3. They lost to SAC by 6. They lost to San Francisco by 8. BYU is an 11.5-point favorite. I don't think they can win it by that much. BYU is not winning game. They did not win a game by more than 11.5 since, that was January 21st, which is not too far away, but it took double overtime to beat Pacific. They lost to Pepperdine on the road. They're on the road tonight. I like USD plus 11.5, but I say stay away from it, period.
Wow. I had to look more into this game. I think BYU is a deceiving 14-4. They don't really feel like a 14-4 team. When you lose to teams like Pepperdine, you take Pacific to double overtime, I don't think you deserve to be 14-4. So I don't know if I'd touch this game. I don't know enough about San Diego, but I definitely wouldn't bet it.
Stay away from it, folks. Iowa. I got an Iowa money line tonight. I like what Iowa is putting together right now. They seem to be getting hot as well. What do you like in the Iowa game?
This game jumped off the page to me. I love Iowa here in this spot. Just trying to see. What's the spread on this game?
You got I've got it on a money line, so I'm not sure.
Oh, wow. Okay, you're taking money line. They're minus 9.5 favorites. I think money line is an absolute lock. They've strung together a couple games here. They're looking pretty good in their last 5. Oh, actually, no, wait a second. They're trending downwards.
Yeah, I was trending down, but also, you got to look at the other side. You got Michigan State, who's bad right now. Bad. So I take a money line. It's a big money line, but I like Iowa at home, the number 8 team in the country against 2 and 6 Michigan State in the Big Ten. Got to roll through these pretty quick here. Arkansas money line. Arkansas is great at home. Mississippi State at home. I don't know if I like Arkansas minus 7.5, but I like them on a money line. I take Arkansas, add it to a 2-team parlay to make it a 3-team parlay. I think it's a lock. Arkansas at home against Mississippi State. Dayton is a 1.5-point favorite tonight, and I am hammering. Dayton 1.5. Lock that in for me. I like that one no matter how you look at it against Duquesne. Duquesne is 5-5 in the A-10. Dayton is 6-3 in the A-10, but look at the last 5 ball games. Dayton has won 2 straight. Duquesne has won 2 straight. Look at the opponents. Compare opponents. Rhode Island's better. So the Salukis of St. Louis are better. I like Dayton 1.5 on the road.
That's a great pick. Dayton's playing much better basketball right now. And only 1.5, it's basically a pick 'em. So, yeah, I'd slam Dayton here.
I slam Dayton. Not only that, you also have West Virginia minus 11.5 against Iowa State. Iowa State's playing bad right now. They're getting some guys back tonight. They'll be a little bit better. West Virginia trending down after the loss to Florida, following the win against Texas Tech. They're tough to pick. West Virginia's on the road, but I like West Virginia tonight just because of how bad Iowa State is.
If you're taking West Virginia money line, it's the easiest pick of your life. I don't know about 11.5 might be too much, but Iowa State's lost their last 5 games. They're not playing great. They lost to Mississippi State by 30, maybe 40. Yeah, actually, you know what? Slam the spread. 11.5 is not enough.
SIU Edwardsville. I've got them in a money line. I think I've got them in a money line, and I'm trying to find that game. SIU Edwardsville, they're minus 2.5 against Eastern Illinois. Eastern Illinois is 2-9 in their conference. SIU is 4-3 in conference. The game is at SIU. SIU is only a 2.5-point favorite. I like SIU. I'm going to go money line with it, but you can go spread with it. And then Notre Dame. I like Notre Dame on the money line at home against Wake Forest. Notre Dame at home. They played better. They won their last ball game. Give me a money line on those guys. That's a 5.5-point game in favor of Notre Dame, minus 5.5. But I like the money line against 2 and 7 Wake Forest at home. And then last but not least, Kansas State plus 18 against Kansas. The game is at Allen Fieldhouse, but Kansas has not beaten a team by 18 points since the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So Kansas is trending down right now. I don't think they beat Kansas State by 18.
18's so big. That's a huge spread.
Last time they beat anybody by 18, it was TCU.
Yeah, Kansas State's, let's not give Kansas State any credit here. They're a bad team, but 18's too big, especially for a Kansas team that's not playing well.
Kansas State played well against Texas A&M. They lost the game, but they played well. And now celebrity birthdays. That was the SicEm pick from myself and Andrew Robertson. Celebrity birthdays, Andrew and Armstrong. Armstrong, are you ready?
Yep, ready.
All right, celebrity birthday number 1 is... Christy Brinkley. Christy Brinkley, how old is she?
Christy Brinkley. I don't know who that is.
32.
She's 67. Shakira.
I have no idea who that was.
Shakira?
Waka waka, hey.
50.
This could be deceiving. I think she's probably older than we think. I bet she's 55.
Shakira. Wait, Shakira. Oh, okay.
Shakira.
Like 42.
Oh.
44.
Wow,
Okay.
that was way.
Yeah, she's 44. You've got, man, it's another bad days for birthdays. Why are we not doing very good birthdays? Like, people just have stopped having good birthdays. This hurts me because I don't know. I don't want to give you guys just a bunch of TikTokers. Dwayne Chapman.
Is it a TikToker?
That's Dog the Bounty Hunter. Dog the Bounty Hunter's birthday's today.
Rest in peace.
Dog the Bounty Hunter?
No, Dog's still alive. It's Beth. Beth died.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Wow. Rest in peace, Beth. I don't know, 65.
24.
68. What?
24?
I have no idea.
Dog the Bounty Hunter?
How do you not know who Dog the Bounty Hunter is? He's literally Dog.
Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Farrah Fawcett.
What? What are you talking
Farrah
about?
Fawcett. How old would Farrah Fawcett have been today?
Bounty Hunter?
Yes.
How do you not know? This is a huge...
That is crazy. You
Dog
need to
the
do
Bounty
something.
Hunter?
Well, where would I have found out about
Watch
Dog
TV
the-
much?
Everywhere.
Not really.
Dog's huge.
Huge.
I don't watch TV now.
His wife died. Will you please?
His wife did die.
Will you
Condolences.
please?
I'm so sorry.
Farrah Fawcett. How old would Farrah Fawcett have been today?
Armstrong. Who was Farrah Fawcett?
80.
92.
Farrah Fawcett would have been 74 today. Who did she die with? The same day. She died on the same day as this person.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
2009. That's the hint that should give it away.
Oh, yeah, that guy. That
guy
person
in
who died in 2009. I totally know that.
Literally, Michael Jackson and Farrah Fawcett died on the same day.
Oh, all right.
In 2009. Literally, if you say who died in 2009, I am Michael Jackson died in 2009.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that Michael Jackson died
Where are you
specifically
guys?
in
You guys
2009.
read a book much?
I was 8 at the time.
I was supposed to know that Michael Jackson specifically died in that year.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know that.
It's a crazy year for deaths, man.
All right.
The only reason I know 2009 is important to me because UNC won the national championship in basketball. It's the only reason 2009 is important to me.
All right, last one here. Are you guys ready for this? David Jason. David Jason is the actor who played Emperor Palpatine.
Oh, okay.
I think. I can't confirm that, but he looks like him.
The original. He played him probably originally in episode 5 before they replaced him with the actual actor.
Okay.
Who played him in all the other
It's
episodes.
definitely old. 89.
David Jason?
97.
81. Not bad. David
Wow.
Jason.
David.
81. Yeah. All right, that was Celebrity Birthdays. What a day it was on a Tuesday on Up-Tempo Super Tuesday tonight. Baylor men's basketball and UT. We ran way over time, you guys. I'm Drake Toll. Armstrong Sims in here. Cole's in here. Andrew's in here. Jack is in here. Grayson Gruendaver's in here. Live studio audience. It's been a great day on Up-Tempo. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. This has been Up-Tempo.
Ideal MRI is a small family business right here in Central Texas. We're open to support you while lowering the cost of healthcare bills. When you need an MRI, ask your doctor for an Ideal MRI. Visit us at idealmri.com or call us at 833-IDEAL-MRI.
Boozers is the wedding ring store and more. If you're ready to get engaged or already married and want to upgrade your wife's ring for a special anniversary, Boozers is the place to go. With the largest selection of premier quality diamond engagement rings and wedding rings in Central Texas. They have 7 cases with over 300 styles of rings from top